or go to danielnelsonmd.com.
Want to listen to Seattle sports on your smart speaker?
Hey, smart speaker, play Seattle sports.
This message is powered by the EQC Sportsbook at Emerald Queen Casino. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Let's go!
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma.
This hour is brought to you by the Harnish Auto family.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Eward and Matt Marcus. Sorry about just Mike.
Eward, not exactly Joe Cap there in the pocket.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Eward and Mike Salk.
All right, here we go with the Brock and Salk Show today on Seattle Sports, on 710, seattlesports.com, the Seattle Sports app, and all the podcast platforms, wherever you want to find us, YouTube as well. Let's throw that out there. If you like looking at our beautiful faces, you can do that, or whatever you want to describe our faces as. Something tells me we'll get some shots fired in about 2 hours when we do Here's the Thing with all of you folks, you kind, wonderful, beautiful folks out there who have downloaded the app and like to leave us little messages that we play for you Thursday at 8 o'clock. Maura put all those together yesterday.
Not as many shots at you as usual this week, so you still have time to get those in. I'll check one more time.
Oh, good. Nice. Thank you. Few. There's an opportunity there for my confidence to grow. So let's please make sure that everybody takes me down a peg before the ego grows too large. As I said, I'm still flying high because I'm getting to coach Cecily's basketball team. Yeah,
we're trying to keep you humble before your big debut this weekend.
I think that's probably a good plan. Yeah, big games coming up in Shoreline, and thinking of trying to do like a little awards for the games for the kids, like a offense award, defense award, something like that, or a heart and hustle type award. But I'm trying to figure out what to buy. Like, I think it may be like a dollar store kind of a trip and see what we can find for the kids. Just a little something, right? Just a little something. Okay. Lyle, you're getting ready to go here. A couple days, and Lyle takes off for the Big D, Dallas, and he's going to go watch his beloved ASU Sun Devils play for the Big 12 championship. Nothing says ASU like the Big 12. I mean, it's just a perfect fit.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, and so while you're there, I guess that's not really why you're going. That's sort of the while you're there. But the plan is to go to the winter meetings and be there the next few days, which, as I'm sure you know, has me incredibly jealous. This was and has been one of my favorite things to go to in the entire sports world. When I was first breaking into this business, I think I've told you the story and I've mentioned this on the air before. I used to go and pay my own way there every year and just ask stations around the country if they would want sound from their manager or their GM or stuff about their teams while they were there. It's called stringing in the business. And so I would go, and for like, I don't know, it's like $20-25 a day per station, I would kind of gather up enough, 25 here, 25 there, $100 here, and I would have pretty much break even on 4 days at the winter meetings. And it was totally worth it to get to know all of the people in the baseball industry. And I've made, it's actually where I first met John Morosi years and years ago. He was working at the time for the Detroit Free Press, and we just started chatting and became friendly and kind of known each other ever since. So there are other stories like that. That one just sort of pops out to me, but it's an awesome experience, and I'm incredibly jealous that you'll be there. When everyone starts working on a story and you kind of feel the buzz in the media room from one sort of group of reporters or another, there's nothing like it. It's just such a cool experience.
Is that where you got to know Passon too?
I don't think so. No, Jeff, maybe. But I think through friends. I think Jeff and I have mutual friends or something that ended up introducing us. I don't know where. It's funny. I kind of don't know where I got to know Jeff. It just sort of happened at some point. We knew each other. So I think it probably was at various winter meetings through people. So yeah, I used to go while covering the Red Sox, and then I went a few times from here covering the Mariners, which was a blast, and just sort of being there. Brock will make fun of me because I went to Indy for it one year. It was in Indianapolis one year, which is the worst winter meetings. Like generally it's like San Diego or Orlando or Las Vegas or Dallas. That
What's
year,
funny
like
is the NFL world talks about the combine the same way you're talking about the winter meeting. They all love going there and partying.
There is a fair amount of late evening enjoyment to be had, and I do often tell the story. And it's probably safe now that Joe is out of the business. But I had a good buddy who worked for the Providence Journal and eventually ESPN for a long time, named Joe. And Theo Epstein, I think it was Theo at the time, told them like, "Hey, full lid, like nothing else is coming tonight. Like you guys are good." And they're like, "Okay." And Joe at the time used to like a beverage or two, and so he and a few other guys started, enjoying their evening, knowing that everything was safe. Well, an hour or two later, they start, phones start buzzing, etc. And I think it was when the Red Sox signed, I want to say Carl Crawford. I could be wrong, but my memory is that it was Carl Crawford who signed like a 9-year gigantic deal, right, to go to the Red Sox. And these guys all come back, and Joe's got to like go on ESPN. And he's like trying to hold it together and like project sobriety and the whole thing. So yeah, the winter meetings can definitely be an entertaining and dangerous place to be.
Yeah. I feel comfortable sharing this because I've heard him talk about it publicly, but would it shock you to know that similar things have happened to Divish at some point?
No, that'd be the least surprising thing of all time.
But didn't he kind of, we had a texter that said that he basically blamed Lyle for his drinking last week. So,
well, that makes sense.
It's your fault.
I did one year while we were there. I want to say it was in Orlando. I had a really cool roundtable that I did with Keith Law, Buster Olney, and Jason Stark. And like the four of us just sat down for like a half hour, and I had all of them on mics at the same time. It was really cool. So there are a lot of awesome things that you can get done at the winter meetings. Really cool people to meet. And then hopefully, the Mariners will be active in some way. And hopefully it's more than just this Alec Boehm rumor that won't quite go away. We're going to talk to Adam Jude about it at 8:30 this morning. He's going to come on and join us. You got any new ideas for me, Lyle? You got anything new?
I do, funny enough.
All right, let me go. Let's hear it.
Now, let me preface it with this. It's out there. It's a little crazy.
Okay.
But I'm trying to get creative, and all of a sudden my brain's been stirring about this over the last day or so, and it ties in a couple things. You not wanting to hear about Alec Boehm anymore, trying to pick the mind of Jerry Dipoto, which is almost impossible, but I'm going to try, and Brock saying he thinks the Mariners are going to have to get aggressive about dealing prospects.
Okay.
So, in a world where you package Luis Castillo,
yep,
I'm going to go aggressive with these prospects, say Felony and Celestine, and one other high-end one.
Whoa.
Is there any world, possibly, where the Braves would think about trading Austin Riley?
Why do you think they would do that?
Well, he came off a little bit of a down year. Not a down year to the point where it was a bad year. It was still a good year. It was just down for Austin Riley standards. But what if the Braves want to shake some things up? What if they want to go after Alex Bregman? They didn't have a great offensive year last year. It's unlikely, again. Riley's on a big contract. But again, like, this is more realistic, I think, than the Phillies trying to ask for Logan Gilbert or George Kirby in exchange for Alec Boehm. So I'm trying to get creative here, thinking, what is something nobody would expect that maybe all of a sudden Jerry could pull the rabbit out of the hat and work something like that?
I mean, Riley's really, really good.
Really good.
Right? I mean, you're talking about a guy who 3 years in a row finished in the top 10 of MVP voting in the National League, been an all-star a couple of times, Silver Slugger. I mean, like, he's one of the better players in baseball.
Here's the other reasoning I meant to get to. Atlanta needs starting pitching, like, pretty badly. I don't know how much longer they can rely on Chris Sale, who's getting up there in age. The year Ronaldo Lopez just had last year felt a little fluky, and the rotation isn't that deep. So that's where Castillo plays into this. And you also know Atlanta likes the whole sustainability thing too. So if you're attaching big prospects, maybe they think about it.
So let me see if I understand this so I can get a grip on it. You would be dealing Castillo and Celestine. And you would throw in a Harry Ford type,
or Farmelo, somebody.
Farmelo, Pete, Ford, somebody in that range. Montez, one of the let's call them second level but excellent prospects that the Mariners have.
Right.
Somebody other than Colt Emerson.
Right.
I'm intrigued.
It's unique.
I'm intrigued.
And I'll say this too. Luis makes $24 million a year. Riley makes $22 million a year. The money's not that different.
I'm intrigued.
Okay.
I'm
good.
absolutely intrigued by that. Would I do it? I don't know enough about Riley to answer that question. I would need a little bit more information on his personality, on his health, on his defense, 3 things that I don't really know enough about. And again, that's just, you just brought this up. If I had done a little research, I would be a little bit more ready to go today. But I love the thinking. Here's why I like it. I got sound. I'll play it here in a little bit from Morosi of him saying, the Alec Bohm fits. I hate that. I hate that word, fits. Oh, he fits. He fits what? The fact that he plays third base and the Mariners need a third baseman? That's not enough to match people up. Fits doesn't work for me. Fits to me is like we've talked about here on this show every once in a while. I don't like when radio hosts or producers or anybody, and we don't do this on the show, it's not a shot at anyone here, says, oh, we got to fill this segment. We don't fill a segment. That's just like, okay, we need to say something, so we're going to spend 10 minutes because that's our job to do it. No, we talk about something because we want to talk about it. Don't just go get a third baseman because the world says you have a hole at third base. Well, I guess this guy plays the position. Is he good? Who cares? He plays third base. That's just the wrong way to approach anything. I like your thinking, Lyle. I like that you're thinking big. Do I think it will happen? Probably not. I don't think the Braves are ready to break up one of the real nucleus pieces of what they've put together. But I so much prefer that level of thought and saying, okay, if you're going to trade one of these big pitchers, what are you going to get for it? I don't know if the Braves say yes to that, by the way, either. That's probably not enough. If the Phillies are out here asking for either George Kirby or Logan Gilbert for freaking Alec Bohm, I don't know whether Luis Castillo and 2 prospects gets it done for Austin Riley, but I love your thinking.
I don't either, but it's just an idea.
I love it. I love the thinking. I absolutely want to think more like that than I do about it. Dude's really good, by the way. Career 270 hitter. He hits for power. He's got an 840 career OPS in a league where that is insane. Yeah, he's a really good player. I like your thinking. Let's come back. We'll give you guys everything you need to know, including the latest on who's in and who's potentially out this weekend for the Seahawks. It's Brock and Salk. Seattle Sports on 710.
It's picked off. Leo Williams. He's running like a racehorse.
This Sunday, the Seahawks hope to bolster their lead in the West as they head to Glendale.
Holy smokes, are you kidding? Leo Williams is going to take it in for a touchdown. Seahawks.
Hawks, Cardinals in a consequential rematch.
JSN makes the catch down to the 20-yard line. Are you kidding me? Holy catfish.
Checkoff 105, pregame starting at 10 on your home for the Hawks, Seattle Sports.
At State Roofing, you can trust us to get your project done right because we prioritize quality and excellence in everything we do. Take advantage of 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest today, and don't pay until 2025. Call State Roofing at 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
You know what's really getting old? Having to do more with less. With Ramp, you can do more with more. Ramp is the corporate card and expense management software that saves businesses like yours an average of 5%. That's more for you to invest back into your operations, your staff, your bottom line, you name it. And that means less time spent on manual tasks, less time spent closing your books, and less time spent worrying about where your money went. All with Ramp.
I grew my hospitality company fast. So fast that we actually felt serious growing pains. Ramp helped us automate our manual expense tracking, saving the team valuable time. Now we have more time to spend on what really matters, our guests and their experience.
Ramp gives you more time, more visibility, and more control over your business. Don't settle for anything less. Start using Ramp for free today at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's RAMP.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
The season of savings is on now at all 6 Harnish Auto Family dealerships with a huge selection and limited time savings on 2024 models. Drive into the new year with big savings today by visiting HarnishAutoFamily.com and tell them Brock sent you. We are the Harnish Auto Family, where people matter.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now, but I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code RADIO for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code RADIO for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code RADIO.
5-hour energy. When I pull up to the parking lot, it's time to level up. Dial in, showing out for your team. Listen up, get you some. Stand the fan to give you what you need. Fan fuel, game time. Turn up the intensity. Team colors bleeding now. 5-hour energy. For a limited time, get the fan fuel flavor at 5hourenergy.com.
When I wake up,
the best mornings
in the morning light,
start with Wrangler.
on my jeans and I feel alright.
Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started on the right foot.
I pull my blue jeans on. I pull my old blue jeans on.
Good mornings make for better days.
I pull my blue jeans on. I pull my old blue jeans on.
Wrangler, for the ride of life.
The Mike McDonald Show, the first word from the head coach after every Seahawks game.
We want to play a certain way, and you're just going to chisel away at it every day.
Presented by Emerald Queen Casino.
Matt Coker here from West Coast Men's Health. Guys, Viagra is not the answer for your problem. I know you think it is, but Viagra has horrible side effects, and for most men, the longer you're on it, the less it works. Viagra is not a curative medication. It's not fixing your problem. It's a Band-Aid for a shark bite. Acoustic wave therapy is the newest technology that can correct your problem, not just treat it. We can do something that no pill can do. We can restore your blood flow naturally. Get off Viagra today. Change your life like the thousands of men who already have, regardless of your age or your medical history. If you're tired of dealing with Peyronie's disease or erectile dysfunction, then call West Coast Men's Health today.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
What's your holiday tradition? Now, if you're like me, it involves gathering around a big meal to celebrate. Well, what if there's no food on the table? Hey, it's G. Scott. This year, help someone less fortunate celebrate the holidays by supporting Nourishing Neighbors. The Nourishing Neighbors program provides grocery cards to the people who are the most impacted by food insecurity. So make a donation next time that you're at Safeway and help make sure everyone is welcome at the table for the holidays. Go to nourishingneighbors.com to learn more.
Safety comes first. When money is tight, don't neglect maintenance on your vehicle. Keep it safe. At Bucky's Complete Auto, we have you covered with available financing. For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto has been servicing and repairing cars and trucks with modern-day technology and good old-fashioned customer service. There's a Bucky's just about everywhere for oil changes, wiper blades, brakes, tire rotation, tune-ups, and factory maintenance. No appointment necessary and financing's available. Check Bucky's.com for the location near you.
This hour is brought to you by the Harnish Auto family.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Well, congratulations and welcome to the world. Jack David McDonald, the coach, and his wife are proud parents of a healthy baby boy, and coach returned to the building yesterday ready to go for this week. Got a few challenges in front of him as they prepare for Arizona, starting with special teams. Sounds like if you are a kick returner or a punt returner and you have any desire to go out there on Sunday, it's an open competition.
I'd say like both returner spots in the punt and the kickoff return game we're working through still, so we don't have an answer quite yet. We have some people that we're going to be working at those spots, D included, so I just don't have an answer for you exactly what we're going to do right now.
All right, a little intrigue to see who ends up receiving kicks and running back punts this weekend. Probably easier, as Brock said yesterday, to throw somebody back there to return kicks fielding punts, a little bit more of a challenge. As for the running game, looks like they liked what they had at right guard.
That's the plan right now. There's a couple mentals to start out the game. But, talking about rookie playing his first meaningful NFL action. We felt him out there. I thought he did a great job getting used to the game, so excited about him. But that's the plan right now, is to stick with Tao.
Obviously, talking about Laumea there, and it looks like he will get a second straight start at right guard. Defense obviously just needs to keep on doing what it's been doing. Injury report looked pretty good to start the week. No big surprises. In fact, Chenna Nwosu practiced, full participant. We'll see what happens there. By the way, he is the Seahawks nominee for the prestigious Walter Payton Man of the Year award. Michael Dixon, another question mark. Will he be able to go? Do they need to bring in another punter this week? All of that we're still to find out. Huge game tonight. Lions hosting the Packers in a premium battle of two of the best teams in what is definitely the league's best division.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
All right, the Mariner-Philly connection on Alec Boehm continues to generate news or kind of rumors. Adam Jude with a report yesterday linking the club, saying the Phillies asked for either Kirby or Gilbert. Come on. In exchange for the third baseman. I certainly hope they hung up the phone and then hung it up again just for good measure. Like, don't even ask me about those names for a guy like this. Slightly better news. Jude also had the team making calls on Cubs second baseman Nico Horner, though Chicago said to be looking for major league talent. In exchange, John Morosi on Yesterday with Wyman and Bob mentioned the same name.
One name that I'd mention as well, we talked about Nico Horner with the Cubs, is Isaac Paredes, who is their short. He plays third base. He can play some second as well. He can play some first. But because they have a young prospect named Matt Shaw coming up, I think that Paredes would be available in the right deal. And so I think he's a guy to watch there as a possibility. Again, Horner is a dynamic, just wizard with the glove at second base, one of the best in the world. I think Paredes is maybe not the class of defender that Horner is, but he's a good offensive player who I think would really help the Mariners too. And he's pretty good at avoiding strikeouts and putting the ball in play by the modern definition of that, which I think we know the Mariners really have to address that this offseason.
All right, another couple of options there. Mark Feinsand said the M's will be in on Hae-Sung Kim, second baseman, who was posted in Korea. John Heyman mentioned him as a potential landing spot for Nolan Arenado, so you can pretty well assume that is never going to happen.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
All right, so I guess I missed the beginning of this story a couple of weeks ago, and I'm sorry about that. The Jewel Lloyd, have you guys heard this story? I don't know. This whole thing started to come out.
No, you informed me. I hadn't heard about this.
Yeah, so Jewel Lloyd requested a trade out of Seattle after the conclusion of what was an external investigation revealed no wrongdoing by the team. Apparently, they were looking at whether the coaching staff last season was bullying and harassing players in order to get more effort out of them. So they hired an outside law firm to investigate those claims. Yesterday, they announced the findings and, as I said, found no wrongdoing. And then Lloyd reportedly requested a trade right afterwards. She's played here her entire career as like a stalwart for this Storm team. So kind of a weird story. I don't know entirely what to make of it. I do want to talk to Brock about it. What does harassment and bullying look like in this modern age from a coach to a player? Like, it feels very much the opposite of so much of what we hear. I'm very curious to know what that could even look like. Kraken will get back to it tonight. Maybe they can do a little bullying of the Islanders. We'll see. That is everything you need to know. And we do a quarter past every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. I should tell you, Holiday Magic online auction is live. You can join Seattle Sports, KIRO News Radio, and Treehouse for the 36th year of Holiday Magic. You can start bidding on incredible one-of-a-kind items like exclusive sports packages, dining experiences, staycations, and a whole lot more. The auction runs through December 11th, so don't miss out. Your participation helps provide holiday gifts and year-round support for children and youth in foster care across the state. Visit mynorthwest.com/holidaymagic to learn more and then start bidding today. What's the difference between children and youth?
I guess toddlers and then preteens. I don't know. You have kids, you should know.
Children and youth. I don't know. I don't know what that means. Like, how do I know when I've gone from child to youth?
Yeah, I don't have an answer.
Lyle's still both. Lyle still considers himself to be both a child.
I would assume
and
if they're differentiating that children is more toddler age and
it's younger.
youth is
all right.
Yeah, maybe. 10 and up.
Who was it? Oh, yeah, Passon, who calls his kid his child.
Yeah.
Yeah, my child. His kid's like 18 years old. He calls him his child. That's ridiculous.
Well, not anymore. I think you guys got on him so much he started using different terms.
I know, yeah. We got in his head on that one. God. All right, let's see. Couple of things for today. 8:30, I think I mentioned Adam Jude is going to come join us and talk through some of these names and think through the winter meetings, which will start next week. And at 9:30 today, we're going to talk to Evan Cohen from the ESPN Morning Show on Sportsmanlike. He had some interesting thoughts that we went through yesterday on quarterbacks and what to do. And I don't know, you guys heard Brock yesterday. Brock was pretty definitive, saying, hey, if the Seahawks make the playoffs and win the division, you got to extend Geno. I haven't heard Brock say that before. So we need to delve back into that at 7 o'clock. We'll come back to it again with Evan Cohen at 9:30. So a lot of good stuff today. Up next, Daniel Jeremiah. We brought him into that same conversation. You're going to want to hear it. It's next on Brock and Salk.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob.
He is Mark Schlereth.
One of the things that really starts to separate you as a good team is when you can win an ugly game. When you can go out and not play very well and still find a way to win, those sometimes are the best kind of bring it all together type of games because a couple things happen. One, you get a win. But the other thing is, from a coaching standpoint, a lot of coaching can get done, really good coaching, that you don't sometimes get in one of these really clean-looking wins.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Planning to propose this holiday? Shane Company is ready to help you find your dream engagement ring. We handpick the most beautiful diamonds and colorful gemstones in all shapes and sizes. So when you walk in the door, you can trust your rock is in stock. At Shane Company, we've always sourced directly, cut out the middleman, and pass the savings on to you. We work with your budget, not against it. We'll also protect your ring for life with our free unmatched lifetime warranty. Come see us at shaneco.com and in-store. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Choose the right flooring for your home, right in your home, with Floor Coverings International. They bring the mobile showroom to you, loaded with samples of carpet, LVP, hardwood, laminate, tile, and more. So you can see the flooring in your light, not just in a store or on a screen. They handle every aspect of installation, ensuring your complete satisfaction. Visit FCIFloors.com and book a free in-home consultation. Floor Coverings International, the stars of flooring.
What would motivate you to encourage your kid to work with me at Lee Johnson?
I still revert back to, if I work at a location and I'm willing to have my son work at this location, that should tell you a great deal. I didn't steer my son away, I steered my son to it. Because of the opportunities that are in front, and when you see it across multiple rooftops in multiple locations, it says a lot that you're willing to entrust your family member, your blood, sweat, and tears. You're willing to say, hey, this is a great place for them to be and work. If you take care of people, they take care of customers.
Sharing a good thing with family and friends comes easy at the Lee Johnson Auto family. The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Great game. You got into the end zone again and again. How'd it feel?
Awesome. Like getting a new iPhone again and again. I just got the new iPhone 16 Pro today.
Really?
Yeah. And with AT&T Next Up Anytime, I can upgrade early every year.
Very nice.
Feel like an MVP again. Learn how to get the new iPhone 16 Pro on us and the latest iPhone every year with AT&T Next Up Anytime. AT&T. Connecting changes everything. Offer subject to change. Additional fees, terms, and restrictions apply. $0 offer may not be available on future iPhones. Next Up Anytime feature may be discontinued at any time. See att.com/iPhone for details.
Are you ready to unleash the beast? Monster Energy is here to give you the edge this college tailgate season. Loaded with bold flavors, our powerful blend gives you the energy you need to push you beyond your limits. Tune in all season long with Monster, the energy drink of ESPN Radio College Football Tour. Power your performance with a drink that's as hungry for victory as you are. Crack open an ice-cold Monster and dominate your competition. Monster Energy. Unleash the beast. Grab yours today.
So here's the deal with Mariners season ticket memberships. You've got two great options. With a Flex membership, you have the freedom to pick your seats, games, and number of tickets whenever you want. Or if you like knowing where you're sitting all season long, go with a reserved membership and lock in your seats from day one. Both plans get you access to exclusive pre-sales, year-round discounts, special event invites, and more. Check it out at mariners.com/25.
Cal Raleigh wins it in the 10th inning for the Mariners.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
Make this the last holiday season in that old kitchen. Hi, I'm Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Our solid wood refacing system delivers a luxurious new kitchen, way easier and less expensive than a tear-out. With the holidays here, I know everyone's busy, but if you order your new kitchen now for select install dates after the new year, I'll give you 12% off the entire project. Hey, all year long and especially next holiday season, you'll be delighted that you did. Call today, Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
Beauty, privacy, instantly victories. Beauty, privacy, instantly victories. A big, beautiful tree that's perfect and right. A wall of green privacy that looks like it grew last night. Beauty, privacy, instantly victories. We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
Toyotathon is here at Toyota of Kirkland. To celebrate the event, Toyota of Kirkland has purchased $3 million worth of certified used and pre-owned vehicles on the lot ready for you to test drive and take home. The largest selection of certified used and pre-owned vehicles during Toyotathon can only be found at Toyota of Kirkland. Visit the wonderful team and beautiful showroom at Toyota of Kirkland today or online at toyotaofkirkland.com. Brock and Salk's Rewind is presented by Toyota of Kirkland.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Time for our weekly conversation with the great Daniel Jeremiah. Hope you had a great holiday. How was Thanksgiving?
Let's not bury the lead. Holy crap, you showed up to work today. This
All
is big
right.
news, man. Great to see you.
One day before Thanksgiving? Jeez.
No,
you had a golf. You had a golf outing.
I don't even think you had any facial hair the last time I was on with you.
And today it's getting caught in the snap with his hoodie. It's a disaster. I'm
good, man.
Fighting through here.
Salk, you missed it last week?
Yeah.
You missed it. And then you also missed one because you were on a golf trip. So actually, yeah, this is a rarity. This is just
You
the
missed
second-
one.
I know, but this is second time in a month.
All right.
You missed the DJ, green bean casserole guy.
Oh, no. The
And I'm gonna
one
say-
gross thing at
and I'm
Thanksgiving?
gonna- And I'm going to say this. Molly made green bean casserole, for Thanksgiving.
Ugh.
I kind of was in on it. I don't know, maybe it's getting older. Maybe it's getting near 50. I don't know what it is.
Was there not enough stuffing to eat or something? Like, why would you put that into your mouth knowing that it was going to take up stomach space
what
away
it is?
from the stuffing and the potatoes and all the good stuff?
You know what it is? It's like winning the Mountain West. Like you're gonna get an opportunity to get into the playoff with an easier path.
Right.
There's nobody else that's getting in line and trying to elbow you out to get the last little bit of green casserole. It's just all there for you, man. You take your scoop, you come back an hour later. All that's missing is the scoop that you took. I mean, that's what's so great about it.
Well, be careful about the Mountain West. Brock's got their championship game on Friday night. So
I know, but I'm saying
No
they're going
shots
to punch
fired
their
here.
ticket. Whoever wins that game punches their ticket without having to navigate, the SEC or the Big Ten.
Must
So
be
that's
very
a good
nice.
thing.
All right, let me ask you this. How would you define in 2024, how would you know that your team has an elite defense?
Well, I always, I think it's this simple thing. I look at points. Everybody gets carried away with a bazillion different stats, and defensive coordinators will talk about third down, red zone. That's the key to being successful. Pressure rate, sacks, all those things. At the end of the day, why are we complicating it? Let's just look at the points that you're allowing. I mean, that tells the biggest part of the story.
I guess the only thing that would make that a little complicated for the Seahawks here, and we're looking at a short sample size, just really the last 3 or 4 weeks, is that in each of those games, some of the points they've given up really haven't had a lot to do with the defense, right? They give up a special teams run back. They give up a touchdown after fumbling at their own 27. You give up a pick 6. You give up another pick. So some of you start looking at the drives against them, and they don't look like, they're not sustained 80-yard, 70-yard kind of drives. They're giving up 17-yard touchdown drives, and that's about it.
That's a fair point, and I have long thought it's ridiculous that you include defensive scores into the point total of points allowed. It makes no sense to me. But there's obviously ways to navigate around the statistics to find, that. You can look at prolonged drives. You can look at eventually getting stops and getting off the field. To me, there's a little bit of an eye test thing there too. You can look at the statistics, but you can look at the eye test and say, did they play on the other side of the line of scrimmage? Did they avoid giving up big plays? And did they get the stop when they need to get the stop, whether that is third down, whether that is red zone? I don't know that necessarily always shows up in a stat.
So when DJ goes to his tape room on Monday, and you're going to chat with us on Wednesday, and you want to dig into some of the situational stuff with the Seahawks and some of the different individuals, what was the tape that caught your eye?
Was it elite?
Well, the fun thing that caught my eye was watching the tape and then going up to our lads because I pulled it up and I'm like, all right, who the heck is 63? Because I've been watching this team all year long. And then I looked at it and I'm like, holy crap, that's Laumea. I was a Laumea guy coming out, and he's getting some push off the line of scrimmage. He's swallowing up linebackers. You go through and watch all their explosive runs, and he's got something to do with almost all of them. So that was fun to see.
Why did he have a 29.5 grade from Pro Football Focus?
I don't know. It makes no sense to me. I've never met an offensive line coach that gives any credence to those scores. Okay. I use PFF. I watch tape with PFF Ultimate. I love their product. I love the way that I can sort statistics. Fantastic. I've just never bought into the grading side of it. So and I think most teams feel the same way, especially as it pertains to offensive linemen.
And so we were chatting about this the other day, and Salk was talking about Christian Haynes as a third rounder. Where did Laumea go? If you've got your little binder there with all the,
I can pull it up. Give me the year real quick.
This year
is a 7th round rookie.
Sixth round rookie.
Sixth round, right? So as you compare and contrast, and this is why I said to Salk, okay, so if Christian Haynes just is a backup and he can't be a starter. Then you know what? You better make sure you take more bites at the apple, and Schneider's a volume kind of guy at times, and let's make sure if there's a Laumea there that we do like, and I liked him, and I thought he was a really good guard in college. He took a huge step back as a tackle because he was limited with some of his footwork. But what's the difference between the grade you had on Christian Haynes and the grade you had on Laumea?
So Laumea, I'm looking at my report here, was playing right tackle that last year. Very quick out of his stance. He's got twitch. He's got urgency. He can latch and dump. He used that kind of crossover pull.
Who can't?
It's a great line. It's a great scat.
I'm glad you wrote that down.
Crossover, uses that kind of crossover as a puller, which is kind of unique how they taught it there at Utah. He can anchor easy in pass protection. He's got good agility. He was lower for me on my list than I thought. I'm looking at it here. It was 153.
Okay.
But I don't know.
So
if
what's
there
the
was
difference
injury stuff
between
on him.
seriously?
There had to be something because that doesn't match.
What's the difference between 153 as a guard tackle and where do you have Haynes? Do you have Christian Haynes somewhere in the 70s or 80s? I think you kind of.
Yeah, I think he was in the 90 range.
In the 90s. What is honestly? What is the difference? What makes the difference between a guard in the 90s and the 150s?
I mean, really, it's going to come down to fit. There's probably not much difference when you get there. I think you can look at kind of those elite guys. And I would put even guards into that 50-60 overall range. Like that's kind of like there's kind of the mark of the line right there. After that, I don't know that there's that much difference between the 65th player in the draft and 150th player in the draft. More so it's going to come down to fit, where he goes and how they utilize what he can do.
Hey, so just because I never truly asked before we go too much farther, let me come back and just finish up on the elite defense thing. Is this Seahawks defense elite?
I think they're really good. A
step below elite.
I think what we've seen. If we see what we saw last week, continually, and what we've seen over the last little bit, yeah, they're trending in that direction for sure. And to me, you've got to be able to dominate up front to be an elite defense, and they've got several guys that are playing at a high level, none higher than Leonard Williams right now. But they've got a bunch of guys who are playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage, run and pass. And so that to me is every dominant defense starts right there. And I think their level of play up front, I was excited about some of the young guys early in the year, but man, the word dominant, I would say, has definitely been more the case over the last few weeks up front.
Remember a couple years ago, Salk, after that playoff loss to the Niners, and we sat down with Pete, as we do now with Mike McDonald every Monday, and he just talked about the stars of that 49er defense, that they're just different. The Bosa and Armstead and Warner and these guys are just different. Right now, Leonard Williams feels like that guy. Right now, Spoon is starting to feel like that guy. Like the ceiling on a Leonard Williams and the ceiling on a Devin Witherspoon, is that ceiling as high as any star defensive player in the NFL?
Leonard Williams was my number one player in that draft when he came out. So, I mean, that tells you what I thought of his talent and toolkit that he had. And now you're seeing it all come together. He's had good months. He's even had some, he's obviously had some good seasons, but I have not seen him be as dominant as he's playing over the last few weeks. Like, this is reminding me of the USC Leonard Williams that had me believing he was the best player in that entire draft class. So, yeah, no, he's up there. You can call them Avengers. You can call them cyborgs. You can use whatever phrase you want to use for those guys. They're just a little bit different. But, yeah, he definitely fits that bill. And Witherspoon, just from a playmaking, toughness, competitiveness, absolutely. I put him in that special category. You can always have more, though. That's the thing. You go through the Niners, and man, they had so many of them littered across their front, and then and really both those linebackers as well.
So I don't know. We've already sort of trashed Pro Football Focus and their grading today, so maybe this doesn't make a ton of sense with that as the background, but I'll throw it out there anyway because Maura sent it over to us last night. Looking at the two starting safeties right now for the Seahawks, Julian Love and Kobe Bryant are both having career years according to their PFF grade. Meanwhile, Marcus Williams and Geno Stone are the two lowest graded safeties in the NFL. So again, maybe PFF is not totally accurate. I'm with you, but that seems like a pretty major difference. Is Mike McDonald a safety whisperer of some sort?
He's getting the best play out of him. I don't know what goes into their grades of how they do it and how they put that together. But to me, safety and Brock, I love your take on this because there is a word that's in that word. Within the word is safe. Like, hey, you're the last line of defense. You've got to be able to make tackles to save touchdowns. You've got to be able to play over the top to limit big plays. It literally is like there's defensive positions that are really attacking offensive positions. The safety position, man, we're playing defense here. Let's avoid giving up big plays over the top and let's make big tackles.
While I agree with that, don't the best defenses have safeties that are also playmakers? I mean, it's just one of those positions that you can come up and have a dominant hit and knock a ball loose. You can get a pick. I mean, they had Julian Love, who knocked a ball loose this past week. The week before, it was Kobe Bryant coming up with the pick six. Like, yeah, you're right. They do need to be deeper than the deepest and not get beat and be a sure tackler. But if your safeties aren't making plays to take away the ball or whatever the case may be, I don't think you can be even close to an elite defense.
Well, I think those opportunities come, but I also think that is, if you were going to look at the business card, the number one thing on the business card is you are the last butt between the offense and the goal line. So that's where it starts. Now you build off of that, and then you're going to have opportunities to make plays. You were in Seattle and saw Earl, what he did. I was in Baltimore and saw Ed Reed, what he did. Yeah, I mean, most defenses are going to have somebody back there who can make plays. But as good as those guys were at those splashy plays, they also had, tipped balls away to save a corner who got beat. They also were able to make an open field tackle when a guy has a three-way go that saved an explosive play and a touchdown. So that, to me, is kind of the wholeness of that safety position. It's not one or the other. I think ideally you'd be able to do both.
You know, it'd be a better name for them, erasers. Like they erase, right? And they
that
erase
ship has sailed.
I know, but they erase the mistakes of others. They erase big plays because they are deeper than the deepest. And then, they can be difference makers and erase an offense, which these safeties have certainly done. Kind of curious, we have not talked with you about Geno in some weeks. Mm-hmm. And it's been kind of you look at the raw numbers, DJ, and obviously the touchdowns, the interception, nowhere near what you'd want it to be. And typically if you're like 1-1 in touchdown interceptions, your team usually loses. You're just, you're a 4-7 team and you're out of it, instead of leading a division and playing some great football, because he's doing so many other things well, especially in the biggest moments. Just kind of curious, as your eyes have watched Geno over the course of the season, what have they seen?
So I wanted to find some numbers, and again, let's give PFF some credit, because this is where I can find these types of numbers, because I was curious on this when I was watching it. There was two stats I was curious on, and you talked about touchdowns, interceptions, but let's look at explosives. Third in the league in explosives through the air. And then the other one was yards after catch, which to me, yards after catch is as much of a quarterback stat as it is a receiver stat, because you're putting the ball in guys' hands on the right shoulder on the move so they can do something with it. And the Seahawks they're fifth in yards after catch. So you're getting explosive plays. You're getting opportunities for these guys to run with the ball in their hands. I think those are two things that you can point to the quarterback and give the quarterback credit for it. And then you mentioned, some of the key clutch drives late in ball games. That's been there as well. All while, the offensive line's getting better, I think, as the season goes along and they get some pieces in there. He's been under a tremendous amount of duress as well. So I can explain away some of the, mistakes in judgment and where he's put the football and some of the turnovers.
That all sounds like a top 10 quarterback in the league. If Geno endeared himself to his teammates the way Baker Mayfield seems to have done in Tampa Bay, I think it'd be really easy to say Geno Smith's a top 10 quarterback in this league, if not more.
I think that's fair. I've had him right in that range, in that 10 to 13, range, and maybe you can argue a tiny bit higher. But yeah, I don't see how you could say he's not in the conversation. He's not the warm, lovable figure that Baker is. I don't know that I've seen him in any commercials. But no, I mean, the guy's, his play is his play. I wish he would have been a little bit, more protective of the football, but it is what it is.
He beats Arizona, and he beats.
Wait, that isn't just what it is. I mean, like, Jameis Winston threw for 500 yards on Monday night, but he didn't protect the football, so his team lost. Like, I'm with you on the 10 to 13 range. I think that sounds right. But I start to get pretty iffy on, well, he just doesn't protect the football well enough. Oh, well. Like, that's why I don't want any part of Jameis Winston on my team.
Yeah, I think Jameis Winston takes it to a whole nother level.
Fair. That's a good point. Yeah,
I think a 30 interception season will kind of do that.
Yeah, 30 is not just for Jose Canseco, guys.
That's fair. All right. I'll own that one. Thank you, DJ. Yes, you put me back in my place.
Okay, DJ, here you go. You ready? Geno beats Arizona this week, sweeps them, right? And 67% chance to make the playoffs. He beats the Rams at the end of the year. I think you get those two and just one other, and you get to 10-7. You're going to win the division. You're going to go to the playoffs. You're going to get to 10 wins for him. You're going to hit a couple escalators. He does those things. You're going to rework his contract in the offseason, are you not?
I think so. I don't see why you wouldn't. I mean, that's the job of the quarterback, and he's accomplished what you set out to accomplish. Usually those guys end up getting rewarded.
Well, you wouldn't, and I think fans are screaming, and you wouldn't because the guy's 34. And you wouldn't because you want to try to get younger. And you wouldn't because, well, isn't the most envious thing in the league having a rookie quarterback on a rookie contract for 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, but I'm working through the draft guys right now, and I'm just curious to see who those players are going to be. My dad gave me some good advice, some career advice early in my 20s when I was thinking about leaving a place of employment, and he told me to not jump off a moving train unless I knew I was going to land on another one.
Pretty good advice. Yeah,
it's pretty good.
How easy is that to do? By the way, it seems pretty hard.
Well, it beats hitting the ground.
Yeah.
I guess the train's got to be moving in the same direction, right? It's not like you're jumping onto a train that's going in the other direction, because that feels like a recipe for
maybe
disaster.
you get it before the split. Maybe you get the other train before the split.
That sounds like something you could handle. Hey, speaking of dads, Mike McDonald is set to become one for the first time maybe today. We're sort of waiting to hear. He kind of took off on Monday to go miss his press conference because his wife went into labor. In the NFL, for a coach, how long do you miss after the birth of a child?
Oh, gosh, that's a terrible question.
I don't think anyone's ever said that to us on this show before. We've heard that's a great question, but I don't think anyone's ever said that's a terrible question.
Maura, cut that, please. Let's have that in the DJ open for next week.
Good on me.
Daniel Jeremiah.
That's a terrible question.
Well, no, because you're talking to somebody who, when I got into scouting, I didn't know this whole NFL world. I didn't know anything about it, about what the culture was. And my wife gave birth to our second child in the middle of the season. It was October 14th. And I was under the assumption that, I don't know, I'd get the next day off of work when I was informed that wasn't the case. So I don't know. I'd like to think that we've gotten better at those things where you could get a little bit of time. But as the head coach, I would imagine it's not going to be much.
Yeah.
You didn't get a 4-week paternity leave?
I mean, my whole thing is like, how about he can go home, before dinner for the next week? That seems like a pretty decent compromise there. At least, you don't have to spend the night in the facility.
Oh my, that's a terrible question.
I don't think anyone's ever said that to us. DJ, you're an original. You're unique. Thanks for jumping back on. I hope everyone on your street is okay, and we'll talk next week.
Not lying, the internet provider is already outside the house, so something happened.
Wow.
So I'll find out.
All right, details to come. Thanks, DJ. Appreciate it. Have a good week. All right, there you go. Another Daniel Jeremiah conversation. We get to do those every week, and they've been fun. I mean, most every week. I guess I haven't gotten to do them every week. I don't know why he gets so. I feel like he missed one, right? He missed one because he had his.
At the very beginning. Yeah.
It wasn't the very beginning. Would be like week 1. It was like week 3 or 4. He missed one. Then I missed one. Then Brock missed one. Then I missed one more. So when one of them misses another one, it'll all be essentially even. I don't know. I feel like I need to stand up for myself a little bit here. But great stuff, as always, from DJ, and love the story there about him and his second baby. So, yeah, just so we know, yesterday we did find out Mike McDonald and his wife, everyone is happy and healthy. They've got a new baby boy, super exciting. Jack David McDonald is the little guy. Jack David McDonald. And, Mike was already back to work yesterday and ready to go. So, let's see. What else did you hear there from him? I mean, the big thing that I want to talk about is Geno. And, maybe I just sort of glossed over it a little bit yesterday. And more, I think you did a better job of picking up the fact that Brock really said something of some substance yesterday. Like, if the Seahawks make the playoffs by winning this division, according to Brock, you're essentially bound to find a new deal for Geno Smith. Those things are so hard for me, especially when it comes to quarterback, like to players. It's one thing with GMs or even coaches or managers where you can say, all right, your past performance is a pretty good indicator of what your future performance is going to be. But when it comes to players, I mean, you've got to consider their age. You've got to consider the length of the contract. You got to consider what they want. This idea that Geno would then just take a deal that would still be somewhat team friendly. Like, all that Brock talks about Gino's stubbornness and how great that is as an asset at times, I don't know that that's going to help you much if you're trying to come up with a deal for a guy who's going to be 35 years old next season. So there are some challenges probably built into that, and I am excited to see what that looks like, and we'll discuss it in a little bit more detail coming up here in a minute. Let me just also mention it's Fan Appreciation Night as the Seahawks take on the Packers Sunday, December 15th. Seattle Sports excited to give away 4 tickets for your chance to watch the game in person. Open the Seattle Sports app and click the Win tab to find out how. Now, if you don't have that app, text the word app, APP, to 866-979-3776, and we will send you a link to download it. You can enter every day to increase your chances to win. The contest will run through this coming Monday, December 9th. All right, so what if you offer Gino a deal and he says, no, I want the big money? What do you do next? I want to hear Brock's response. It's coming up on Brock and Salk.
Seattle Sports, your home for Bump and Stacy.
Juan Soto's nearing the final stages of his free agency. God, can you imagine if it was the Mariners?
You know, it would be nice to be in the conversation for them to say,
yeah,
hey, we shot our shot. She just wasn't messing with us.
I kind of want that to happen.
Shoot. You have to shoot.
Exactly. I kind of want the Mariners
what did Wayne Gretzky
to be
say?
Walking up to the big kids table and people to be like, you have no business. What are you doing here? And for them to be like, we're competing.
Gretzky and Michael Scott. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Thank you.
Come on.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app.
If you worked in aircraft manufacturing or aircraft painting at Boeing, semiconductor or printed circuit board manufacturing, or other industries where hazardous chemicals or solvents were used, your children may be entitled to legal damages. Birth defects have been linked to toxic chemicals and solvents used in these industries. If your child was born with brain or spinal cord damage, organ or limb deformities, blindness, cerebral palsy, genetic damage, or other issues, and you're a past or present aircraft manufacturing or painting, semiconductor or circuit board worker, contact Weinstein-Cajano now, toll-free at 1-866-99-TOXIC. Your children may be entitled to legal damages. If you are a past or present worker in aircraft manufacturing or aircraft painting at Boeing, semiconductor or printed circuit board manufacturing, or other industry worker, and your child has a birth defect, call toll-free 1-866-99-TOXIC. Your call is confidential. 1-866-998-6942. That's 1-866-99-TOXIC. Message authorized by Weinstein-Cajano, 600 University Street, Suite 1620, Seattle, Washington.
I don't want to dig up my yard if I don't have to. That's why I hired O'Neill Plumbing. They're Seattle's trenchless plumbing pros. All rooter, all trenchless, always professional. O'Neill Plumbing since 1917.
Hey Seattle, Jaden Schwartz. Still having roofing problems? Don't skate through the winter. Call Techline today. Techline has the strongest warranty in the business. Take advantage of our easy financing and seasonal specials. Happy holidays from our team at Techline Roofing.
O'Brien Auto Group has some of the best new car brands in the Northwest. Those great new vehicles make the best pre-owned vehicles as well. O'BrienAutoGroup.com for the best factory certified vehicles. O'BrienAutoGroup.com for a large selection of the best pre-owned cars and trucks. O'BrienAutoGroup.com. Choose from hundreds of SUVs, trucks, hybrids, EVs, and more. O'BrienAutoGroup.com. One site is all you need. That's OBRIEN Autogroup.com.
O'Brien. Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. This time of year is decision time for a lot of people, but it's also when you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For many families, joining MediShare means saving about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people, obviously. But what's more, MediShare members like it. A lot. Their satisfaction rate is 98%. Imagine that. And Metashare is a proven thing, too, for over 30 years. It's a Christian community of hundreds of thousands of people now. And here's the thing. If you join before December 15th and you mention the promo code SHARE, they'll waive your application fee. So you save even more right off the bat. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call and you'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is December 15th. So call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number. 877-26-BIBLE. That's 877-26-BIBLE. 877-26-BIBLE.
Adam Schefter here with Vivid Seats. We've got some late-breaking news coming out of the stands. According to multiple sources, Vivid Seats fans are scoring rewards on every purchase and at a rapid pace. Obviously, these rewards are a game changer, and coupled with their MVP-worthy ticket selection, why get tickets anywhere else? Don't drop the ball this season. Shop with Vivid Seats and earn rewards on every ticket. And as the official ticketing partner of ESPN, Vivid Seats is offering you $20 off your first $200 ticket purchase with code Schefter. That's code Schefter.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football, it's a pepper thing.
Let's go!
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
This hour of the Brock and Salk Show is powered by Star Rentals, preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
Get me a freaking auto! From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Ewert is my hero.
Jay Buhner just punched me in the kidney.
We're going to accuse you of a minute.
Doesn't really work that way, Sherm. This is a show that has my name on it.
It kind of does, though.
Now, here are your hosts, Brock Ewert and Mike Salk.
Yeah, Brock Ewert with a big statement yesterday. Was that a proclamation?
Pretty close.
Really?
Good morning.
Good morning, buddy. How are you?
Pretty
Are
close.
you, did you have the meat sweat sleeps last night?
Yeah, a little meat coma.
Yeah.
A little fillet to start, a little just bone. What's a big ribeye steak? The tomahawk.
The tomahawk.
Oh, just gnawing on
Gosh,
that bone.
I didn't see that picture
tomahawk.
till this morning. That thing is like, I don't
just-
even know
yeah.
what size that is.
Yeah, it's
large.
Did you eat all of that?
Large and in charge.
No, they cut most of it off, but then all the grizzle, all the good stuff,
Yeah.
just gnaw right on that bone.
Yeah.
Yes, it was good.
So you're in Boise today.
I'm in Boise. My friends at Double R Ranch, Snake River Farms, hooked the whole crew up last night. Unbelievable time. Great meal.
Good.
Axe throwing right up my alley, man. I was pretty dominant at axe throwing.
Were you?
Not going to lie. A lot better at that than darts.
Huh.
Yes.
Yeah, that
not
makes
great-
sense. You're
not
more of a
great at
blacksmith than an
darts.
artist.
Yeah, not great at darts, but give me that axe, and I was hucking that sucker last
Yeah,
night.
our
so.
darts are small. I mean, like
They
they're
are.
very light. You got to have
My
a light
hands are too
touch
big.
with that.
My
Yeah.
hands are too big.
I can
for
see that.
It's like Shaq shooting a free throw. My hands are just too big for
Your hand would be essentially enveloping the dart.
That was the excuse I always. That's
Yeah.
all right. What do you want me to do? I got no
Good.
touch.
You
I
got
got no
a dart
touch.
in your neck.
My proclamation yesterday about Gino. What was that? If they get to the
If they win the division, make the playoffs, you got to resign Gino.
he's going to get a new deal. That's just the way it goes. He's going to get a new deal.
You know how I feel about that's just the way it goes.
Well, that's 3 years of that's just the way it goes, and it's all trending the right way. I mean, those are big ifs, and he's going to have to play really well because I don't think this run game all of a sudden is snap your fingers and going to run for 150 a game and, kind of get the flood going like they've cut the flood off with their rush defense. So it'll fall on him, and he'll have to be tremendous and more than likely in the fourth quarter. And he does all of those things, Salk, for now largely the third straight year. Takes you to the playoffs 2 of those 3 years without much of a run game. Yeah, I think typically.
So how they do in the playoffs doesn't factor in?
I don't. I would expect him to be just fine. I don't think that moment in any way will be overwhelming or too big
I
for him.
didn't say it would, but
Yeah.
how they do in the playoffs wouldn't factor in.
I don't think so.
If they go to the playoffs and Minnesota comes here and the offense does jack squat and they lose that game 17-7.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see 2 more linemen for him. Like I'd like to see him behind a line that is just league average as far as pressure rates and sacks and hits and everything else. Yeah, I'd like to see him. If that's the case, then they probably can't run the ball. He's probably getting hit a lot, and I'd actually like to see him with just a couple more. Don't need 10 pieces. Don't need 5 pieces. Just give me another quality lineman or two.
Quite as easy as that.
No, you
as
snap
you
your
know.
fingers. Yeah, you just pull them off the tree.
Well, it's also you got guys on your team that you've got to re-sign as well, right? It's not just what you've got that you need; it's what you can retain of the group that you've got, because you got a bunch of other people that are either going to be up for a deal or potentially up for a deal. Excuse me, this off season. So
you
it's
burp in my face.
I did. Yeah, it just sort of came out. It just sort of popped right out.
You're just gonna act like that's a nothing.
Did you ever listen to Howard Stern? Dude burps like he doesn't care. Like, whatever. Once you reach a certain point in this career, you just burp. It's fine.
You just did what Bo did 2 weeks ago, wherever we were. End of the meeting, he's getting older, and he even said to me, he's like, looking back on this season, I was kind of grumpy in those Friday night meetings. By the end of the day, they're just long days.
Yeah.
And his filter was so low, he tooted.
No,
he actually
that's
tooted
too
in the
much.
meeting.
No,
yeah.
that's a non-starter.
Yeah, so toots, farts, let's go.
I actually forgot to take my Nexium this morning. That was, I think, the problem in there.
Gotcha.
So sorry about that. Here's what Daniel Jeremiah said about where Gino is at.
But let's look at explosives. Third in the league in explosives through the year. And then the other one was yards after catch, which to me, yards after catch is as much of a quarterback stat as it is a receiver stat, because you're putting the ball in guys' hands on the right shoulder on the move so they can do something with it. And the Seahawks they're 5th in yards after catch. So you're getting explosive plays. You're getting opportunities for these guys to run with the ball in their hands. I think those are 2 things that you can point to the quarterback and give the quarterback credit for it. And then you mentioned, some of the key clutch drives late in ball games. That's been there as well. All while, the offensive line's getting better, I think, as the season goes along and they get some pieces in there. He's been under a tremendous amount of duress as well. So I can explain away some of the, mistakes in judgment and where he's put the football and some of the turnovers.
So a lot of real positive things to say there about what Gino's done, looking under the hood, not just at the raw numbers. Nice job by DJ. And okay, so Brock, good point. What if he wants the big deal? I mean, you talk all the time about Gino's stubbornness and how it can be a real asset for him late in games, throughout games, his real belief in himself. I know that what you would like to do is say, hey, Gino, you're going to be 35. Why doesn't your deal, sort of look to be here? In fact, we asked kind of Daniel Jeremiah about that.
I think so. I don't see why you wouldn't. I mean, that's the job of the quarterback, and he's accomplished what you set out to accomplish. Usually those guys end up getting rewarded.
Right. And so, what does that number look like? Okay, if it's not 55, is it 50? Is it 45 a year? This idea of, well, he's 35, so he's not going to get the big money. Well, Gino's not going to hear that. He's going to say, what are you talking about? I'm just coming into my own now. I just had my best season. So how far down that road are you willing to go with Gino?
Well, you got all the leverage. So you can want whatever you want, but we got all the leverage. We not only have you next year on a deal with a pretty good number, and again, if you hit these escalators, and Brady was talking about this, Salk, last Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and the escalators that are already built in there of him making the playoffs, of him throwing for X number of yards, of him getting to 10 wins was one of those escalators. You're adding, I think, $1 million, $2 million, $4 million on next year's deal, and you're going to get north of $30 million. I think it'll be around 35, 36 million. So it'll be a pretty penny, and they paid him a pretty penny so far, and he's earned it, and he's deserving of it. So you have all the you think now we're going to rip this up, and no, this is your deal, and you got another year on it.
I guess I just don't know why you want to commit to anything beyond next year.
Because you've got to, I think, have a little bigger global picture and look at everybody you played this year. Everybody you played this year. Let me go through this list. Bo Nix, Jacoby Brissett, Skylar Thompson. You got the 3 guys in the division, Matthew Stafford, Brock Purdy, Kyler Murray. You faced Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers, Daniel Jones. I mean, of everybody that you have played this year, how many of them were like, woof, I really wish I had him play, besides Josh Allen? How many of those did you sit there and go, man, if we only had Kirk Cousins, man, if we had Jared Goff, if we had Daniel Jones, if we had, you don't. You don't. Gino's, as good as just about any or every one of those guys, save for Josh Allen. And Josh Allen ain't in this draft. So this is not a necessarily even a great draft. And I'm not enamored with some of these guys. Maybe maybe a Jackson Dart falls to the 2nd or 3rd round. Or, somebody that has some upside, some pretty neat gifts and tools. Maybe that guy falls in the second or third round, and maybe you pull the trigger there. And can you still do that with reworking Gino's deal? I think you can. So this isn't about, well, he deserves it. You and I both, I think that we kind of throw up when that happens. Well, of course you can do it. This is the way it goes. Of course you're going to reward him. No, it's not even about rewarding. It's about projecting as well. And he's done everything you've asked of him for 3 years. And I think he is the tip of the spear. And Daniel made one more comment too, I believe, or maybe it was Evan Cohen, that the hip to hip with your head coach is really important.
Yeah.
Really important.
There's a lot in there, Brock. You're making good points. I'm gonna try to make one on the other side of it, which is a quick look at the teams in the NFL. I think there's about 14 guys I'd rather have over Gino.
Okay.
And that's looking at their age, where they could grow into, et cetera. It's not just looking at where they're at right now, because you got to say next year he'll be 35, right? Is it going up or down? Just looking through the teams going in order here. Josh Allen, yes. I'm not going to say Tua, but I think based on what we've seen so far, the kid in New England, Drake May, has been really darn impressive. If you were building a team from scratch today, you'd probably say Drake May has more value. Nobody with the Jets. I still like Dak. I'm willing to put Dak on the list, but it's iffy. Eagles, yes, with Jalen Hurts. Commanders, yes, with Jaden Daniels. Ravens, yes, with Lamar. Bengals, yes, with Joe Burrow. Browns and Steelers, no. Bears, yes, with Caleb Williams. Lions, I think you would have to say yes, even though I think they're similar players. Packers, yes. Vikings, no. Texans, yes. Colts, all right, no, but I know Lyle would be interested. Bucks, I think you would kind of go back and forth with him and Baker, as you've said. Chargers, Herbert, yes. So, that's about 14. I didn't include Purdy necessarily. I think there's an argument to be made there. It doesn't include J.J. McCarthy. It doesn't include Penix, because neither of those guys have played yet. But if you were to include some of those guys, you might very quickly get to 16, 17. Again, that's not a shot at Geno Smith. He's in the same conversation with a lot of those guys.
Correct.
But you could make an argument, if you were trying to, that there are somewhere between 14 and 17 guys that you would rather have ahead of him, especially if you consider that a lot of those players are going to be on rookie deals. And he's not. You're going to be paying him more money than you're already paying him now. So I understand your point, and you do want to reward guys for good, for playing well and for doing things for you. You also want to be pretty careful about paying for what they did as opposed to what they're going to do.
That's right.
And trying to, and yeah, you're right. You don't want to just jump off and hope that you're going to find a soft landing somewhere. But man, that's a lot of quarterbacks that are pretty darn intriguing.
Yeah, there's a lot of young guys, and as you kind of rattled through that list, there is some great value. We know that in this league, but there's also some great value in having the known, in having one stubborn, competitive sucker that at every turn, when he makes a mistake, he largely overcomes it. And when the games are on the line, and they will be on the line, and they'll be on the line Sunday in Arizona, and they'll be on the line in L.A. in the final week of the season, and more than likely in Green Bay versus Green Bay, Minnesota at home, going to come down to the fourth quarter. You versus Sam Darnold, you versus Jordan Love. He continues to slay these guys, and he gets this team to 10-plus wins and gets to the playoffs. Like Daniel said, I just don't know how you don't take care of that guy.
For Down Territory, going inside the game with former Cougs and Seahawks wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
How can A.J. Barner become even more of a factor for the Seahawks offense?
Well, he's getting there. Scored his second NFL touchdown last week. If he wants to be a bigger contributor in the pass game, he's got to just get violent in the run game. You look at the best tight ends in the game, they can block. And then once you become a great blocker, you learn how to fake the block.
For Down Territory, every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
Well, as the year winds down, I cannot believe it is already December. It's time to drive into the savings at the Harnish Auto family. Hey, Brock Heward here. And whether you're looking for a new car, truck, SUV, or electric vehicle, our 6 dealerships are offering unbeatable end-of-year deals. From incredible discounts to special financing options, there really has never been a better time to go upgrade your ride than right now. And if you've been listening all year, you know that the Harnish Auto family truly believes in giving back to the communities they serve, because they know people matter. Whether it was raising funds for breast cancer awareness in October or filling up the food banks, and you all jumped aboard right alongside them. Come visit any of the 6 locations before the year ends. It's more than just a sale. It's a chance to be part of something so much bigger. We're driving in the new year with big savings and even bigger hearts. We are the Harnish Auto family, where people matter.
Direct savings and client focus, the cornerstones of the Diamond Dave philosophy.
Hi, I'm Diamond Dave Cantor. My team and I, Cantor Diamond, can be your trusted friends with an inside scoop on the diamond world.
Just like they are to thousands of people around the world.
And just like we have been for over 34 years.
At Cantor Diamond, it's all about the diamonds and the savings, not paying for high-end retail locations or the overhead of a mall.
You stand to save big time with our by appointment professional office approach, combined with direct importing.
When you choose Cantor Diamond, you choose huge savings, top quality, and excellent service. Call, email, or message us for an in-person appointment.
Or sit back and relax for free FedEx shipping anywhere in the USA.
Call Diamond Dave at 253-272-7007. That's 253-272-7007. Or follow them on Instagram at Cantor Diamond. That's at KANTOR Diamond.
When an injury takes your kid out of the game, the team at Seattle Children's is here for you. With the most experienced orthopedics and sports medicine professionals in the Pacific Northwest, Seattle Children's all-star team will get your kid back in the game and back to being a kid. Learn more at seattlechildrens.org.
Hey Seahawks fans, Tyler Lockett from Brown Bear Car Wash. We've got the perfect play for a spotless car. With the Unlimited Wash Club, you can keep your car game ready all season long. It isn't clean unless it's Brown Bear clean.
You know what's really getting old? Having to do more with less. With Ramp, you can do more with more. Ramp is the corporate card and expense management software that saves businesses like yours an average of 5%. That's more for you to invest back into your operations, your staff, your bottom line, you name it. And that means less time spent on manual tasks, less time spent closing your books, and less time spent worrying about where your money went. All with Ramp.
I grew my hospitality company fast. So fast that we actually felt serious growing pains. Ramp helped us automate our manual expense tracking, saving the team valuable time. Now we have more time to spend on what really matters, our guests and their experience.
Ramp gives you more time, more visibility, and more control over your business. Don't settle for anything less. Start using Ramp for free today at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
The noon hour of the Bump and Stacy Show is powered every day by the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to pendergastlaw.com.
Matt Coker here from West Coast Men's Health. Guys, if you're taking Viagra or any other pill for ED, I want you to ask yourself this question. Do I want to continue to do this for the rest of my life? If you're like most men, the answer is no. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we can restore blood flow naturally without pumping your body full of chemicals like you've been doing. Guys, you need to come in today and fix this problem now. Why are you putting this off? Viagra's not going to magically start working next week, and you don't want to use shots or go under the knife. Call us today and speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. Change your life today like the thousands of men who already have. If you're tired of dealing with ED or Peyronie's disease, then call West Coast Men's Health.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Your business needs a network it can count on.
Power's out.
Comcast Business has you covered with Wi-Fi backup to help keep your business up and running, even when your power goes out.
Everybody in the warehouse good? Lights are out, but the Wi-Fi's up. Let's power on.
It's from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Break room, you good?
Can't microwave my burrito, but Wi-Fi's fine. Let's power on.
Power on with the leader in connectivity, Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ask about Wi-Fi backup for your business or get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year contract, plus for a limited time. Ask about an $800 holiday bonus prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call or go online to ComcastBusiness.com today. Ins 12/15/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet and security edge. EcoBill and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. A first.
Well, congratulations. Welcome to the world, Jack David McDonald, the coach, and his wife, Brock, proud parents yesterday of a healthy baby boy. And Coach did return to the building, and he will be right back in his spot this week. Couple challenges in front of him as they get ready for a huge game against the Cardinals, starting with who's going to be running back kicks and punts.
I'd say like both returner spots in the punt and the kickoff return game we're working through still, so we don't have an answer quite yet. We have some people that we're going to be working at those spots, D included, so I just don't have an answer for you exactly what we're going to do right now.
Did you hear the two names that were out there yesterday?
Oh, did I see video?
Was it Kenny McIntosh and Zach Charbonnet?
Did it remind me of Big Nickel?
Was it the two names we were
when
talking about
When I saw the
yesterday?
video of Charbonnet catching the kicks, was I thinking of Big Nickel and Salt?
Told you, man. Like it kind of
Absolutely.
made some sense. You can be a bigger returner in this world, and the way they've made some changes.
You can, but kind of like axe throwing, some of the poor fellas on the crew were just terrible at it. I was
Oh.
trying to teach them and a little bit of snap. Like, no, you got to, I was just giving them little pointers here
Right.
and there. Yeah, they
Sure
loved
they
it,
love
actually.
that.
They actually did. You just think like, oh, if you can catch a football, like you can catch a punt or catch a kick, not so fast, my friend.
Right.
It's like tracking, honestly, it's like tracking like an outfielder, right? The line that you take on that thing and getting underneath it and all the fundamentals that go into that. And I don't remember Charbonnet doing a bunch of that at UCLA or Michigan. So they'll ramp it up. It's not like rocket science. If you've got good hand-eye and you're willing to work at it, you can certainly learn the technique. But yeah, I don't think it would be D. Williams.
Which do you
this
think
week.
is harder? Returning
Punt.
kicks, returning punts, or holding on a kick, on a field goal?
Oh, on a whole.
And I just mean catching the kick. Or
Oh,
punt.
catching the
Catching the kick, catching the punt, or being a holder.
Oh, that's a great question. I got to think about that.
All right, think about that one.
That'll be
I'll
a
let you
bonus
know
for
that
88.
sounds like Lomea is going to continue at the right guard spot this week. Good news. And might be a couple other guys back, Stone Forsyth and Chenna Nwosu.
Yeah, those guys have a chance. We'll see, how the week goes and when we activate them and all that. But excited about both. Really, everyone that has gone down on ours is just working their tail off. So when they get their opportunities, it'll be exciting. But
Yeah,
we'll
you know
see.
why?
Chenna will practice today.
Chenna did and was a full participant in practice yesterday.
You know
and
why
then
those
was,
guys are busting their tails?
Yeah.
I want to be a part of this thing.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, this ride's pretty fun right now.
Well, Chenna also the nominee for the Seahawks is one of the 32 in the league for the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. Anyone who's been around him for a little while would probably understand that. Huge game tonight. Lions hosting the Packers. Great battle. Two of the best teams in what has been the league's best division.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Well, the Mariner-Philly connection on Alec Boehm continues to generate news or rumors or whatever. Adam Jude with a report yesterday in the Times linking the clubs and saying the Phillies were asking for either George Kirby or Logan Gilbert in exchange for the third baseman, to which I hope the Mariners hung up the phone and then picked it up and hung it up again just for good measure. Slightly better news, Jude has them making calls on Cubs second baseman Nico Horner. Chicago, though, apparently is looking for major league talent in exchange. We got Mark Feinstein saying the Mariners will be in on Haesung Kim, who was recently posted out of the KBO. John Heyman mentions them as a potential landing spot for Nolan Arenado, so you can cross that name off the list. Here's some more from Morosi on Boehm.
I checked in on the Boehm possibility tonight. I saw Adam's story in the Seattle Times. I do believe that there have been conversations about Boehm. I get the sense that they were maybe hotter a couple weeks ago than they are right now. That was what I was told tonight. The fit is there. The Phillies are willing to move him for sure.
No kidding.
And I think that the Mariners, they need some power on the corners.
He had 14 home runs last year.
In Philly.
Stop. They're willing to move him? Oh, you don't say. A guy who's not that good and is not a great clubhouse guy? Why would they ever want to move him? That's so weird.
He is good. He's just not a Hall of Famer.
Look
Yes,
at
he's
numbers.
good.
His numbers are not good. His numbers are not good. Move it along, Lyle. Move it along.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Brock, did you catch the beginning of this story a couple weeks ago about Jewel Lloyd and the storm?
No,
I
but
totally missed this.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing it at all.
Well, there was a story about it on November 16th. I went back and looked at it. Apparently, there was an external investigation after some accusations that the coaching staff last year of the Storm was bullying and harassing players in order to get more effort out of them on the court. So the team hired an outside law firm. They investigated the claims. Yesterday, they announced the findings, which revealed no wrongdoing. And then Jewel Lloyd, who's star of this team, been here since her rookie year, reportedly requested a trade and now would like to be out of Seattle.
So I dug a little deeper. I read that story. I think all of the coaches are former players.
Yeah.
Save for one, who I think then moved on to the NBA or something. But like they all are former players. So they've all been in the league. They've all played in the league. And you would think, as far as like harassing and bullying or anything, like they would have an idea of what and where that line is. Mm-hmm. I also do wonder if this is Jewel saying, I don't particularly like these coaches. Why don't we try to find a new batch that we can relate to?
Well, that would make sense for the trade portion of it, but that generally wouldn't lead to a full investigation of bullying and harassing, and that's a really interesting. I'm waiting to hear more because I don't really have a whole lot to comment on. But interesting story, certainly, for one of the better franchises in the WNBA. Kraken will be back at it tonight against the Islanders, and that is everything you need to know.
You can hold your burps and you can hold your voice for 30 seconds. Lyle, why are you the only one kind of beating this drum out of the four of us? Is it his WRC plus that he is above league average? What is it? Where are you going to lean into that this guy, for significant stretches, I said about Gino, like he's done this not for a year or 2 years. This is now going on year number 3, where, he has just kind of elevated and been good in big moments, everything else. When has this dude been, and how long has this dude been a good player?
In 2024, he was good. He wasn't great in September, and then, he got benched in the playoffs, sure. But he was an all-star. He doesn't strike out. He plays good defense. You don't have to hit 30 home runs. He still hits for impact. So if this is what's available, then okay. Well, maybe we can get to my other idea with you later. I brought it up to Salk at 6 a.m. I like this one better.
Oh, okay, good.
His other idea was better. At least it involved a good player, which was sort of exciting. And by the way, the Phillies have some set asking for either Logan Gilbert
that's insane.
or George Kirby in exchange for Alec Boehm.
Salk, on your
Remember
contracts?
when we had a caller who suggested the Mariners trade Kenji Jojima for Barry Bonds? That's essentially what that is. What are you talking about? Stay away. That is absurd. All right, coming up next, and we'll talk to Adam Jude at 8:30, about an hour from now. Coming up next, how a lunch pail, Brock, led me to a couple of future questions about the Seahawks coaching staff. It's next on Brock and Salk.
Seattle Sports, your home for Bump and Stacy.
Congratulations to Leonard Williams. He was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week. But it really does speak to the success John Schneider and the Seahawks front office have had with in-season trade acquisitions. 2010, Marshawn Lynch. 2017, Dwayne Brown. 2019, Quandre Diggs. 2024, Ernest Jones, obviously making a massive difference. I mean, this is like batting 1,000.
This is what they do. They are good at mid-round adjustments.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Summer's over and you've had your fun, but now it's time to get back on track. Stop feeling frustrated and overwhelmed and start being excited about the new you that's possible. We want to be your teammate. No gimmicks, no tricks, no drugs. Just teaching you how to turn your body into a fat-burning machine and keep it off for the long term. We know the secret for fast and lasting weight loss using real healthy foods and lifestyle strategies designed to reset your metabolism. Schedule your free consultation online at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
I really appreciated how fast the program works. I lost 35 pounds in 8 weeks. I think I dropped 20 in just the first 3. It's pretty incredible. And in terms of the healthiness, it's real food that you're buying at the grocery store.
Our program has successfully helped thousands of people lose 20 to 30 pounds or more in just 60 days. You can start our program in person in Kirkland or virtually from anywhere you live. Schedule your free phone consultation today by calling 425-588-0080 or eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome to Staples.
Help! My family's in for the holidays and I need gift ideas.
That's why we're here. Staples has amazing deals on everything you need. Photo gifts, laptops, and gaming systems. Even custom holiday cards and shipping solutions to send gifts to the family that can't make it.
Perfect! Have anything for Uncle Frank? I love him, but the guy is never quiet.
Noise-canceling headphones. For you.
You get it.
Unwrap huge holiday savings at Staples. And right now at Staples, save up to $350 on select computers. Ends 12/28, in-store only.
Toyotathon is here at Toyota of Kirkland. To celebrate the event, Toyota of Kirkland purchased extra inventory and has a premium selection of Tundras, Tacomas, RAV4s, Priuses, hybrid Camrys, and the all-new Crown Signa. Toyotathon is here, and Toyota of Kirkland is ready to celebrate with you. Visit the wonderful team and beautiful showroom at Toyota of Kirkland today or online at toyotaofkirkland.com.
This holiday season, give the gift of Mariners baseball. Why settle for a pair of socks when you can grab a pair of tickets to see the Red Sox? A gift card? Skip it. And snag seats to see the Cardinals. A wine opener? Or how about an opening day trip to T-Mobile Park? For tickets and our complete schedule of marquee matchups, including the Yankees and Dodgers, plus can't miss collectibles, fireworks nights, $10 value seats, and more, visit Mariners.com.
A walk-off grand slam for Cal Raleigh.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
The Mike McDonald Show. The first word from the head coach after every Seahawks game.
We want to play a certain way, and you're just going to chisel away at it every day.
Presented by Emerald Queen Casino.
Xfinity here. How can we help?
Hi. My entire family's obsessed with all things Wicked, but my kids can't stop watching the trailer, and now they're having a Wicked-themed sleepover. Do you think our internet can handle all of the streaming and memeing going on?
Well, we've engineered our Xfinity gateways to handle hundreds of devices at once, so they can all stay magically connected.
Wow. Are you a wizard?
I wish. No, just someone that won't let a bad connection burst your internet bubble.
Now through December 22nd, get Thrillifyingly fast Xfinity Gigabit Internet for $25 a month for 12 months when you add unlimited mobile. And get Peacock Premium, a $7.99 a month value included at no extra cost. Or lock in your internet price for 2 years for just $5 more a month with a 1-year contract. Early termination fee applies. Go to Xfinity.com to learn more and keep the magic going from your screen to the big screen. And see Wicked in theaters now. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless plan and auto-pay bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Gig Wi-Fi requires Xfinity Gateway. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. After promo, regular internet rates apply. Actual speeds vary.
Lovebirds, you're in for a treat. With your holiday proposal just around the corner, Shane Company is here to help you create your dream engagement ring. This is your moment. Let's make it magical. Through 4 generations as a family business, we've helped tons of couples find a beautiful engagement ring for a price that works with their budget. We've always sourced diamonds directly, cut out the middleman, and passed the savings on to you. At Shane Company, we have the widest selection of ring settings and center stones, in stock and ready to compare side by side. It's so easy. Choose a look that brings your vision to life. From classic styles to modern designs, we have them all. Then pick out a natural or lab-grown diamond, a sapphire in your favorite color, or a vibrant gemstone like ruby or amethyst. With our everyday competitive prices and free lifetime warranty, your forever after is safe with us. Visit shaneco.com and come see us in store. We've got your dream ring and fine jewelry gifts for everyone on your list. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, I'll start by apologizing here. This is a story that begins talking about Harbarf, but it goes and comes back around from there, I promise. Before I get to it, Brock, did you come up with an answer here on which is hardest? So I said, catching a punt, catching a kick, or catching a snap for a hold on a field goal.
So all of them have the possibility of breaking digits. I mean, that can happen.
Sure.
You can ask Mike Frary about that. You know, when I threw a football to him off of the Fisher Plaza and he was down by the Space Needle, just the rate of speed with which that ball came and just totally shattered his finger as he tried to catch it. And then the director screaming at him to continue to try to catch it when his body was screaming at himself in shock that don't stick your hand out and try to catch one of these. So you could break a finger trying to do any of those. Catching a snap, those guys at the NFL are unbelievable. That ball's hauling, but it is in a spot and a spiral, and those guys are so good. So I think that would, in some ways, be the easiest. Kickoff would be next. Catching a punt is by far the hardest because you've got, like, Michael Dixon, Australian dudes that are kicking you UFOs. Like, they're spinning every which way, trying to track it, trying to get underneath it. Yeah, catching the punt would be, I think,
But true or false, you refuse to be a holder anymore.
Well, once the NFL kickers get a little finicky and you've got to put it right in the same piece of blade of grass, and if you miss, then maybe I got a tick, and maybe I started to blink my eyes, and maybe I, was borderline Tourette's, and I was like, I can't do this. I'm out. So
stop it.
Yes.
Come on now.
Well, I did.
I know.
I got a tick.
You had to get it's sort of like my language learning disability. Like something's got to get you out of doing it. And so
was I
whatever
great
you
in
gotta
high
do.
school? Yes.
Yeah.
For Dane Looker, was I great in college? Yes. Did I get to the NFL, screw up once, get screamed at, and that was it.
So did you look at the little video that I sent you from the Chargers locker room? So Jim Harbaugh gave every player on his team a lunch pail with their names and some of his favorite words like stalwart or whatever. That was sort of the one that was in the tweet. And what's the guy's name? Daiyan Henley.
Oh, linebacker stud.
You like him?
Oh, he can run.
He's in the video, and he says just a little something for busting our tail. If that's not the word he uses, but I'll be nice. And so I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool, and I was just trying to think about why something like that appealed to me. It's not just the little kitschy thing, or although I do like that sort of stuff, but I do think that's part of what makes Jim Harbaugh special. He's constantly thinking about an identity and how he can continue to build it. I don't know that he is spending a lot of his time thinking about scheme. I don't know that Jim Harbaugh spends any time thinking about the schematics. I think he's sort of in more of a Pete Carroll mold where he's a part of the planning process, and obviously he's been around the game forever and ever, and I'm sure he knows what he's doing both offensively and defensively at this point, and he was a pretty good quarterback for a long time. But I don't know that that's his focus of the week. He seems to be, from the outside, focused on what little things can I do to make my team more of a team and in the image that I want it to be, right? He came in and immediately said, I want a team that's going to run the ball and play defense. And he has said about doing that, and it means, drafting a giant lineman and
Joe Alt,
right? Getting rid of a bunch of your wide receivers.
Mike Williams, Keenan Allen.
Right? I mean, he went about his plan exactly the way he wanted to. And I don't think that this is any different from that. Right? This is a guy thinking, how can I continue to build that identity, to build that, really, in this case, personality and buy-in for my team, even if it's just little gifts like lunch pails that help make a difference. I think that's great. And I'm not saying that other coaches can't or don't do that stuff. But if you want to compare him to, say, someone like a Kyle Shanahan, I think this is why Jim Harbaugh is a better head coach than Kyle Shanahan is, because while Shanahan may be this great schemer, and that has a lot of value in the NFL, so much so that teams are willing to pay him to be a head coach, even though he's probably a better coordinator, I'd rather have a Harbaugh. I'd rather have a guy that is looking and focused on the big picture than simply a genius at, scheming up one thing or another.
Yeah. So it's kind of interesting here. It was, I believe, Greg Schiano midseason this year. I think it was Greg or Matt Rule. It was Greg, and then Matt Rule followed. And we had this conversation, and Greg, who's been in the NFL, right, been a long-time guy, and in the Belichick tree at one point, obviously Buccaneers head coach, and he's done a nice job at Rutgers, get back to 7 wins and everything else. And he was talking about Lincoln Riley in this case as a head coach, and he's just like, he's so hard because everything he does is through the confidence of the quarterback. Like, he just is so good at this thing, and it makes it really, really difficult. And Lincoln, I'd put a little bit like in that Shanahan kind of tree.
For sure.
Like, they're so good at getting the most out of their quarterback. I think the LaFleurs, I think the Sean McVays, I think all of it. But then you take a step back, and I think to your point about Jim, and I'd put Dan Campbell right in this list too, and maybe, our buddy down in Eugene, the Savage down there that does the same thing. They look at it a little more holistically, and that is, how do I do this through the confidence of my players? It's like everything is about my players. And many coaches can try to preach that. Not many genuinely walk it. Joe Klatt would tell you the turning point at Michigan, right? It was staff changes, some things, but it was also Jim realizing this is all about the players. How do I truly, genuinely, every fiber of my being, and I remember having meetings with Jim the last couple years there. And it was like, I don't want, we're going to always have a couple running backs. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to break that player down. I'm not going to hurt him for my benefit in the short term and know that it's going to kill his long-term. Like, I'm not doing that anymore. It is about, and everything is through and for the players. And walking that line, Salk, is
really hard.
In management.
Very hard.
Right? Like, okay, it's all about my personnel. It's all about the employees. But then those employees walk on you. And then those employees try to take advantage of you. And then those employees don't really practice
that's hard
that
to do with a Jim Harbaugh, right? I mean, because a lot of, and Dan Campbell, because some of that personality is wrapped up in sort of their tough guy persona.
Yeah, they're big men. They played in the league for a long time.
Right.
Jim played like 18 years. Dan Campbell just can still, I think, power clean 400 pounds.
That is probably an inherent advantage they would have over a Pete Carroll or someone like that. And that's not to say Pete didn't find other ways to overcome it. Obviously, Bill Belichick didn't play in the league either, and he found a way to be as intimidating as anybody. But I think those are sort of inherent advantages. Why does Belichick get sort of labeled the greatest of all time? Partly because he's just won more championships than anybody else. But in his heyday, it was the combination of his defensive scheming prowess with his ability to lead a team. And then there's some other things that sort of, take away and add to that story as well. Anyway, the reason I found myself thinking about this yesterday was not so much about Kyle Shanahan, but obviously about Mike Macdonald and what his future is. And I don't expect Mike Macdonald to be a fully formed coach right now. He's basically said that he's not, that he's learning and that he's growing. And, he's doing a lot of things really, really well. As I think through kind of where the next steps may be, or questions may be for Macdonald in his future. And by the way, these are not like, I don't think he can do any of these things. It's just kind of like where the development goes to next. The two things that jump out to me are, one, how does he reach his team on a consistent basis to try to achieve his vision for the football team? And I'm not saying he's not doing that. I just don't know that we get a chance to see it the same way. And he may not like sort of kitschy, metaphorical ideas like what Jim Harbaugh's done, or some of the big, speeches publicly like a Dan Campbell. But how do you affect that level of personality so that your team knows exactly who it is, what you want them to be, and they end up achieving it day in, day out on the field?
Yep.
Don't you think that's got to be a long-term goal of his?
It is, and it's not something you snap your fingers at and you get total, complete buy-in right away just because he's your coach and just because it's the NFL. It's just not the way it works. Not with contracts, not with guys' histories, not with the transactional nature and no loyalty in the business. Like generating true, legitimate buy-in that I'm going to just give you everything, that I'm going to play so hard for you no matter what. Yeah, that is honestly what Campbell and what Lanning and what Jim Harbaugh have been able to do at their different stops. And I'll tell you, like 11 games in, if you want to say, what do you think just watching from afar, not in those walls, not in that locker room, not in that, what from outside jumps out? These dudes are just laying it on the
100%.
Freaking line.
They really are. And I think some of that is
Leonard Williams and Devin Witherspoon and Julian Love. And if you're not laying it on the line, and I don't know if you saw that clip floating around social media yesterday, and it kind of got picked up in a bunch of spots that gave the all 22 of Tariq Woolen on that play where Julian unloaded on him. Like, if you're not laying on the line, your own teammates are going to hold your butt accountable. And that is when you know this thing and this buy-in is starting to get pretty real.
Very, very good points. And then the next part of it, Brock, the other question I guess I have for his future is, how is he going to put his same stamp on the offensive side of the ball? Right. What is going to be his relationship with the offense.
Yep.
And, we've talked to him about it. I am not calling him disconnected from the offense or anything like that. But again, through our own conversations, he has said, still learning that a little bit. That's not his area of expertise. Yep. He is, allowing the offensive coaches to really take the lead in that fashion, which is fine. Again, I got somebody here saying, is this Salk's way of taking a shot at Mike McDonald? How dare you? Like, seriously, that stuff just makes me so mad. Like, can we not have a conversation about his future without you thinking it's a shot? I think the world of Mike McDonald so far. I think he's doing an excellent job. He's in year 1 of his career. What does the future potentially look like for him? I think it's wide open and possibly incredibly bright. These are some of the things that I'll be watching to see how he handles, because the initial things, the initial results have been tremendous. Yep. How does he manage to build an entire team and get everybody buying into one vision of what he wants to do day in, day out? Mm-hmm. And how does he eventually form the same type of relationship with his offense that he has with his defense?
Yep. I think that is like where football is so unique, right? It is really so different than a baseball. And I know baseball's got the pitching staff, and the pitchers are a little bit different than the everyday players are. But by and large, only 25 in the clubhouse, and right, they're all kind of, all oars in the water the same way, knowing it's all complementary and everything else. And in hockey, certainly, and basketball, certainly. Football, man, you can have 2 totally different worlds, and you still do. I mean, you have college places that air raid with Mike Leach, like literally, they practice separately. The defense would be done. I'm like, where are they going? They're done. Leach is still out here with his offense. Yeah, I know. They're just like their own totally different entities. And Lincoln Riley, I think has fought some of that and battled some of that down at SC, because that's his training and his background. But connecting those, Salk, that's real. Just as much as it is for the Shanahans and the McVays and the LaFleurs and the offensive guys to have that same kind of connection with the defense, rather than just, well, you do your thing. You go stop people, let me just do my thing. But really kind of commingling that is where a Harbaugh, right? That is where I think a Sean Payton, with all the years of experience. I think that's where, Dan Lanning is a very young guy, has been really good with his offensive hires, and Dillingham and Will Stein. And, it just, that stuff matters to get everybody in it together. And is a lot easier said than done. It really is.
Yeah.
So
again, these are ideas of sort of curiosity and where this is going to end up for Mike McDonald. He's done the first thing he can do. He's shown that he belongs, right? He's shown that he's a smart dude, that his defense works, that he works hard, and every player in there knows that he's working just as hard as they are, and that he cares just as much about, like, a lot of those sort of initial things are really important, and he's done them.
Oh, and by the way,
now I'm curious about what comes next, because the world's his oyster.
Game management,
tremendous.
Processing, being in the moment. And I'll tell you, man, it's
seriously.
Yeah.
Is he the best game manager of fourth downs and time and clock management and all that stuff? Is he already among the best in the league?
He's ahead of it every single time.
He's been tremendous.
There is not a moment where you have felt, and we watched the other side of that at times,
so
get a little emotional, hormonal, and like calling timeouts. Like, no. You got to be like a play or two ahead of this, and that is one of his great strengths. And I'll say this too, and it was kind of a nothing burger, and he had a little fun with it, and I did. It poked some fun at the end. But the fact that Aiden Dirty can call him a computer and make fun of him, right? And just like that back and forth, that's it. That is where like connective tissue gets built. In a business, in a show, in a locker room, in a class, like, you know what I'm saying? That stuff, to me, that was so encouraging that he would share that with us. Like, oh yeah, that's where AD and why he calls me the human computer. Like, being able to laugh at yourself and have others have fun with you. That was a very little thing, and I'm not going to make it the biggest thing, but it showed me just again that human connection.
Yeah, that he's
that
a
really
little
matters.
bit. He's a little bit more of.
He's
a little bit
my
more of a
linear
broad
side.
stroke Renaissance man than he is just one singular type of guy. That's what he's going to have to fight a little bit, right?
Yep.
Is to try to show everybody on his team that he's a little bit of everything. And so far, he seems to be starting that process awfully well. Let's ask Brock some football questions.
This is Brock and Salk's Blue 88.
Blue 88! Blue 88!
We take you to the field as Brock Ewart breaks down 3 football questions as only he can.
Now here's your hosts, Brock Ewart and Mike Salk.
right, 3 good football questions for Brock, starting with this one. Question number 1. A couple pretty good running backs in this game on Sunday with Kenneth Walker and James Conner. Are they similar, different? Like, what do you see with those two guys?
Yeah, well, where they're both eerily similar is they're tied for breaking the most tackles in the league. So, is that a good trait for a running back? Being able to make people miss?
I think it is.
Able to break tackles? I think it is too. I don't know if you love the fact that he's had to break 70 of them. And kind of like tackles, that conversation we had with Charles Davis the other day, where are you breaking those tackles? Well, for him, a lot of times, right at the point of attack. Right when he gets the ball handed to him, got to break that tackle, run through that tackle, and go get you a yard. And that is why both he and James have 70 forced missed tackles. That leads the league. But the difference is Connor's sitting there at 15th in the league with 773 yards, and K9's 32nd at 542. James Connor's averaging 4.2 a rush, K9 3.7. You look at the list, Salk, actually, do you know your boy there in D.C., Jaden Daniels, has rushed for more yards than K9? That's not good.
That's not what you're looking for.
Yeah, so K9's 32nd. 33rd is Jalen Hurts, about 60 yards behind him. So that's not, to me, a K9 problem. That is a run game problem. That is, will you just let this guy, hit it? And when he does, you see it. There's 5 yards, there's 8 yards, there's 10. Oh, my gosh, he's one tackle away from taking it to the house at any single moment. And, man, I would love one of those just breakthrough 150-yard games, and there's a 35-yard run, and there's a 50-yard run. And you're going to get a bunch of these others. It'll be 0 or 1 or 2. But I'd sure love a couple doubles or triples this weekend.
All right, question number 2. Well, as I said yesterday, we were sort of joking about it. Every time I watch Kyler Murray, I come away pretty unimpressed. Seahawks did a really good job against him 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
Can they do it again on Sunday?
Yeah, so I did a little digging in my meat coma last night, laying in bed.
Appreciate that.
And I went through...
Take a bath after all that meat?
No, there's no bathtub at the home
can't
two
really,
suites
right?
in Boise. I don't... Yeah, I've drawn a line.
Oh, you have? That's new. You used to be willing to take baths in public like that.
I do, but there's a line drawn. And that is if there's a separate bath to the shower, then I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you won't use a shower bath combo
no.
in a hotel.
I can't think of the trucker that's in there taking the shower and all the stuff coming off him, and then I'm going to lay in that. No, I can't do that.
Glad to hear that.
But separate tub, shower, I'll still do that. I was laying in bed with the meat coma, and I was looking at Kyler's game log. And Kyler in the Arizona Cardinals, 6 wins this year. He's run for 252 yards, over 40 a game, including 4 rushing touchdowns. In his 6 losses, he's run for 29 yards a game, no rushing touchdowns. Against our beloved Seattle Seahawks 2 weeks ago, do you know what he did with his legs?
Nothing.
2 rushes, 9 yards. And if you're Kyler Murray and I'm Arizona and you're coming down the stretch of the season and I know you came off an ACL and I know you're recovering, bro, you got to run. I would boot him. I would wiggle him. I would sprint him. I would get him out of the pocket 7 to 10 times a game. I'd run speed option once or twice a game. I would get that guy's legs activated. And for whatever reason, they've not done a ton of that. I don't want to see that Sunday against Seattle. But when he doesn't run, he becomes very, very, very average. It's got to stay that way Sunday afternoon.
I totally agree with that. Question number 3. Let's see. Early signing period wrapped up yesterday, Brock. How'd UW do?
29 dudes. Right there somewhere between, you looked at the different rankings, 18 to 25. I think they had 8 4-star kids. The majority of them.
Is that in the
3
Big
stars.
Ten or is that in all
no,
of NCAA?
that's in the country.
Okay, just
that's in the country. Somewhere
I know
between
there's about 25 teams in the Big Ten these days.
Yep, there's 18. There's 18. So somewhere between 18 and 25. They're not Texas. They're not Oregon. They're not Alabama. They're not Georgia. Right? They're not at the top of that list. But they also are not in the 40s and 50s. They were 48th last year in a short period. Remember, Jed Fish had to come in after Kalen left so late. It was kind of messy. And, Jed said to you and I, we're going to work to have the best recruiting class in the history of the school. That's not happened. But the portal also will play a part of this, a big, big part of this. So this was kind of buttressing that portal with 29 dudes, including 8 4-star guys. A couple of them they flipped. A couple of them linebackers, a number 1 recruit in the state out of Bethel High School, big 6'2", 230-pound, good-looking linebacker. ended up able to corral him and keep him in state. So I would say like a B+, A-.
Okay.
Yeah. It wasn't, you don't get an A because you said it'd be the greatest in the history of the school. That didn't happen. But it's also not a C or D because there was a whole bunch of achievement in there and some really good high school players.
Interesting, huh?
Did I work that?
You worked it perfectly. I'm just impressed. You felt comfortable with that one.
Yeah. I kind of like that word.
Did you hear it from somewhere, or like
No.
where did that come from? That's not a word I generally hear you use.
I'm trying to expand.
I appreciate it. I'm here for it.
Growth mindset.
I love that about you. That is today's Blue 88. Of course, every morning 7:45 we ask Brock some great football questions.
I think it maybe was last night at the dinner. It was great.
Somebody said buttressing.
No, they didn't say it last night. No, they were talking about butts, and in particular cattle butts, like the big carcasses. And I wasn't doing it. It was Benetti with one of the guys from Double R Ranch. No.
Somebody was talking about power sources, and you weren't a part of it?
I wasn't. I was an avid
Shocking to
listener
me.
right across the table because my buddy Jay, who I had coffee with right up the road, Salk. How about this? 2013, man. 11 years ago.
Crazy.
Double R Ranch, kind of getting going, Snake River Farms. They were looking to maybe do some advertising with the station, got to know these guys. And they were like, hey, man, you ever come to Boise? We'll hook it up. And, man, did they ever. Twice. Both the Humanitarian Bowl many years ago and then last night, great meal. But, no, Benetti was all in on carcasses and Wagyu and studying them. And he's like,
I can see that.
And Benetti's like, that's what Brock does with football players. He looks at, like, their calves. He looks at their ankles. He looks at their power source. He looks at players the same way you look at your cattle. So, yeah. We had some fun.
All right, Brock, Holiday Magic Online. The big online auction is now live. You can join Seattle Sports, KIRO News Radio, and Treehouse for the 36th year of Holiday Magic. You can start bidding now on incredible one-of-a-kind items like an unforgettable adventure with Dave Wyman. Oh, my gosh, host of the Wyman and Bob Show.
What?
And expert angler Tom Nelson.
Oh,
together from the outdoor line, a 4-hour fishing excursion. Aboard, although this says abroad, which is funny, the Sea Beast.
Dude.
The auction runs through December 11th. Don't miss out. Your participation helps provide holiday gifts and year-round support, both for children and youth in foster care across the state. Visit mynorthwest.com/holidaymagic to learn more and start bidding today.
That's
Fishing
been like
with Wyman and Tom Nelson.
I want to say that's been the gold medal winner the last 2 years.
Pretty good.
I think it's won. I think it's been the highest bid the last 2 years.
Not surprised. Nelly was in yesterday throwing around T-shirts and said he's got some smoked salmon coming in for us next week. So pretty cool. You can go to mynorthwest.com/holidaymagic to learn more and enter your bid. Maura, we've got Here's the Thing. You got even a couple of new ones that you added this morning.
Yeah, I checked. I checked for more.
All right.
The latest and greatest.
Is Danny back?
Danny is back.
Oh, jeez.
Because we needed to hear Brock's inner voice.
We'll see where this goes. Stick around. It's next on Brock and Salt.
It's picked off. Leo Williams. He's running like a racehorse.
This Sunday, the Seahawks hope to bolster their lead in the West as they head to Glendale.
Holy smokes, are you kidding? Leo Williams is going to take it in for a touchdown. Seahawks.
Hawks, Cardinals in a consequential rematch.
JSN makes the catch down to the 20-yard line. Are you kidding me? Holy catfish.
Kickoff 105, pregame starting at 10 on your home for the Hawks, Seattle Sports.
Reminds us that the roadways don't always agree.
It's that combination of additional travel, changes in routine, and winter weather that make this the most dangerous time of the year to be behind the wheel.
Any safety tips to help commuters keep the holidays joyful?
The number one cause of accidents remains distracted driving, even during the holidays. So store that cell phone in a place that eliminates temptation. It's imperative we set the example for our teens. Also, be aware of abrupt changes in the weather and prepare for it. Sometimes it's as simple as allowing additional distance for following or stopping. Lastly, make sure your vehicle is properly maintained for winter.
That includes four-wheel drive and chains when required at the pass. Please follow these safety precautions from my good friends at Pendergast Law and keep you and your neighbors safe this holiday season.
Happy holidays from all of us at Pendergast Law.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Traffic backups are inconvenient, but if your pipes are backing up at home, that's bad. There's only one cure for this pesky problem: the experts at Beacon Plumbing, Heating, Septic, and Mechanical. Trust them to clear your closet. pause. Stop freaking and call Beacon. 1-800-FREAKIN.
Safety comes first. When money is tight, Buc-ee's has you covered with available financing. For oil changes, wiper blades, brakes, tire rotation, tune-ups, and factory maintenance, it's Buc-ee's Complete Auto. No appointment necessary and financing's available. Check Buc-ee's.com for the location near you.
When I wake up
The best mornings
in the morning light,
start with Wrangler.
pull on my jeans and I feel alright.
Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started on the right foot.
I pull my blue jeans on. I pull my old blue jeans on.
Good mornings make for better days.
I pull my blue jeans on. I pull my old blue jeans on.
Wrangler, for the ride of life.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed a musty smell in your home? I hope not, because damp smells mean that you could have a crawl space problem. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your crawl space and get to the root cause of the problem. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, weight, and even ED. Schedule your free testosterone level check with the team at Revive Men's Health Seattle. Text the word BOOST, that's BOOST, to 65555 or visit revivemenshealth.com. Message and data rates apply. Message frequency varies. Text help for help and stop to cancel. ReviveMen'sHealth.com/privacy policy for how to opt in. Info will be used, and ReviveMen'sHealth.com/terms of use for terms of service.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
Xfinity here. How can we help?
Hi, my entire family's obsessed with all things Wicked, but my kids can't stop watching the trailer, and now they're having a Wicked-themed sleepover. Do you think our internet can handle all of the streaming and memeing going on?
Well, we've engineered our Xfinity gateways to handle hundreds of devices at once, so they can all stay magically connected.
Wow. Are you a wizard?
I wish. No, just someone that won't let a bad connection burst your internet bubble.
Now through December 22nd, get thrill-defyingly fast Xfinity Gigabit Internet for $25 a month for 12 months when you add unlimited mobile. And get Peacock Premium, a $7.99 a month value included at no extra cost. Or lock in your internet price for 2 years for just $5 more a month with a 1-year contract. Early termination fee applies. Go to Xfinity.com to learn more and keep the magic going from your screen to the big screen. And see Wicked in theaters now. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless bill and auto pay with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Gig Wi-Fi requires Xfinity Gateway. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. After promo, regular internet rates apply. Actual speeds vary.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
I don't read the internet, guys.
Take the bull by the hands.
And Brooke, you are. And Brooke, you are.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
All right, let's see what we've got this week. People have been downloading the app. Not enough people, by the way. More of you need to go download the app. I don't understand what's going on and why the app isn't on every single person's phone out there. Just download it, then it's on your phone. You can always do whatever you need to with it, whether it's, winning things or communicating with us or reading things that are written here from the station or listening or watching, whatever it is. You can do it all through the app. And Maura put together this week's Here's the Thing.
Brock Heward doesn't just hate one kid.
I I am so disappointed in Michael Salk.
You don't know what you're talking about. You're mindless. Love you, bye.
It's time for Brock and Salk's Here's the Thing.
Okay, here's the thing.
Confession, I missed this last week. I was sad that I wasn't in. A little bummed that you guys did it without me.
Did you listen to it on the app?
No.
Oh, thanks.
I didn't miss it that much. Let's not get carried away. I was asleep. There's no way I woke up before this show was over.
Well, that's
on
what the
my
app is
day
for.
off.
You can listen on
That's
demand.
true. I could have gone back later. That's a good point. That's fair. All right.
Here's the thing. Would you rather have Lyle sing you lullabies until you fell asleep, or have to catch a pass from Brock every time you walk through a doorway?
Easy answer on that one. I've already told you I'll never catch a pass from Brock again. So Lyle singing lullabies would be great. Plus, he'd fall asleep before me.
Lyle, sing us a lullaby. Let's see what it sounds like.
Do you know any lullabies? Rockabye Baby?
I was going to say, on the treetops. Was it when the wind grows?
The wind doesn't blow.
Well, that's the end of that.
You're going to have to practice.
That was bad. But I definitely prefer that to Brock throwing passes.
I kind of want to catch a football from
I mean,
Brock.
from what I've heard about Brock's passes, I don't think I'd have any fingers left. So
More,
yeah.
don't do it.
Laura, no chance for
I'll
you.
go with
Especially
Lyle.
with your fingers.
Maybe they'd stand up better.
No.
Lyle on that backfield in Peoria will get it done in March.
Do it. Here's Ethan.
Brad, I apologize for everything I've said. I will stop planting flags on your home field, okay? Whatever that means.
Whatever it means. That's Ethan, and this is Brent.
Here's the thing. I went bowling again this weekend with Brock and Lyle, and after I defeated Lyle, I marched down to his home. I planted my flag right in the middle of his shack, and he said, yeah, this is fine. This is good. This is how it works. And so now I am sleeping in his futon. I'm squeezed into his little shorts. I'm eating all the peanut butter jelly sandwiches, and Lyle is homeless. So if any listener is willing to take in a destitute podcaster, call 866-979-3776. That's 866-979-3776.
Wow, that's good.
All right.
Squeezed right into your little shorts.
Ate all your peanut butter and jelly and kicked you out. Wow.
That was pretty good.
A destitute podcast.
So here's the
thing.
I was going to say, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Planting the flag, go right ahead. You beat me. You have the right to plant the flag, but eating my peanut butter and jellies, come on, man.
That's a bridge too far.
Yeah.
Your pants aren't nearly as tight as your shorts.
I don't know what to tell you. Yeah.
Here's Steve.
Hey, you were talking about crazy sports. They had actual roof ball on ESPN, the Ocho, or ESPN News last week. It was crazy. It was just somebody's personal home. They were throwing a football up to hit a pipe up on the roof. It was the world championship of it.
The world
So funny.
championship. I think I've actually seen some of that roof ball.
Yes, I have.
Because you got to catch it when it comes back down, right? That's part
Something
of
like
it.
that, yeah.
That's kind of fun. Did you
you
do
watch-
anything like that as a kid?
No.
We used to throw stuff up on the roof and wait
We
for it
played
to
a
come
lot
down
of
and catch
wall
it.
ball. A lot of wall ball at recess.
Now, wall ball, is that like butts up?
Probably.
Like where one person throws the ball, the next person has to catch it off of one bounce. If you bobble it, you've got to run to the wall. If they throw it and hit the wall before you touch the wall, then you've got to go butts up against the wall and
Sounds like
somebody
you're
can
getting
peg
very
you with the
specific
ball.
about a game you played.
Oh, whoa, that's very intricate. No, that was...
You never
we
played
were-
butts up with a tennis
we
ball?
were-
You play with a tennis ball, not a baseball.
Right.
But if you miss, you'd have to put your hands against the wall and somebody would just peg you in the butt with a ball.
Speaking of recess games, did you guys call it bump or knockout?
Cutthroat.
Bump.
Yeah, I called it bump too. What's cutthroat?
Bump.
We originally called it cutthroat, and then when they told us we couldn't call it that anymore, it became knockout.
Huh. I think knockout's an East Coast thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Here's Kevin.
Here's the thing. Just when I thought all hope was lost and Mike Salk was going to be done with the crazy non-sports takes, he comes out with his movie take.
Oh, no.
To be done with Quentin Tarantino after Kill Bill, there might be 3 of his best movies.
Nope.
Inglourious Bastards, Django, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Fantastic movies. Wonderful movies. Inglourious Bastards, one of the best villains of all time.
Yeah.
Godspeed. Good luck with the basketball coach thing.
So I will say I turned off Django. I hated it. I did not particularly like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but I made it to the end. I haven't seen Inglourious Basterds, so I will.
He's right.
All right, I haven't seen it. I'll own that one.
The evil dude in that.
The only one I will say, Death Proof might have come out after Kill Bill, and I really like Death Proof.
Did you do the Bryson DeChambeau, by the way? Speaking of the ball on the roof.
Watching them all?
Yeah.
Yes.
How would you do with that, hitting over your house?
I mean, terribly, obviously. How would you do?
Yeah, did he not worry about breaking that window?
No. He's a professional golfer.
Did you say a window? The whole wall of glass.
Yeah, it's a big window.
Yes.
A, he's a professional golfer. B, he's worth $1 gazillion, and he could just,
Yeah, he could replace the window, but still, it's a nuisance to do that if you just shatter it with a golf ball.
He wasn't going to. He didn't even come close to the window.
It's a window into how incredible those guys are.
He barely missed the green. I mean, every single shot, even without being able to see it, he was within 8 feet. Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed that. Did you?
I did too.
Yeah, it was fun. I watched it every day. Here's Randall.
Hey guys, Randy from Tacoma here. Got an idea for your new baseball rule. Let's call it the do-over rule. You get one per team per game. Imagine this. Aaron Judge is at the plate, hits the bomb. But the opposing team says, wait a minute, do-over. He has to go back to the plate. This time around, he gets a strikeout. But his team says, wait a minute, do-over.
Do-over.
Aaron Judge goes back to the plate. Third at bat. Here you go. See what happens. Wouldn't it be fun?
I'll tell you what. That is not a worse idea than the golden bat rule.
No,
that's actually pretty good.
No, I think that's worse.
No, it isn't. That one's hysterical. You could end up with 3 Judge at bats in one game in a row.
Somebody hits a walk-off home run, World Series 1,
Do-over.
crowd's going crazy. No, you didn't.
Do over. Do it again. You could literally have him against the pitcher 3 times in a row. I like it, Randy. Good stuff. Here's Brad.
Here's the thing.
Oh, no.
I can't wait to hear about Salk losing it on a ref while he's coaching.
Won't happen.
Just screaming like a psychotic, salt and pepper-haired hobbit. Anyway, I hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving, and I love you. Bye!
Salt and pepper-haired hobbit.
I could just see it.
It won't
play
happen.
Out.
It will not happen. Nope.
Your daughter gets hacked on the way to the rim.
Nope.
It's supposed to have 2 shots to
Nope.
win.
Nope.
No foul. She's crying, and you're just calm as a
I am
cucumber.
telling you that won't happen. It won't.
Peanut brittle.
I'm positive. Brock, remember when when I tell you these things about me, I'm always right about them. Remember when you said, when your kids grow up, you'll care if they curse? I'm like, no, I really don't.
Okay.
And I still
All
don't.
right. Okay.
Sorry, dude. I won't care about I will not get mad at the refs.
I think I also said you'll get into the youth sports and it'll be like catnip. And
Well, that's true. You're right about that. There's no way I'll yell at the refs. 0.
Okay.
I love the refs. I think they're great.
Sure. Okay.
All right, let's finish with Danny.
Here's the thing. This is the inner dialogue of your favorite color commentator and co-host of this fine radio establishment, Brock Heward. Can I get an amen? I came here to say that there is nothing better on this flat earth than college football. Just thinking about it makes me want to pound my desk and yell, yeah! Another thing. Those of you who've called me a demonic Ken doll for all those years, I hope that one day you feel the wrath of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and I pray you repent for those sins. But I don't mind, because it's like my Mima always said, you better grab those horseshoes before the beast kicks you in the head. Oh, wait, I got some karaoke to do. See y'all later. Blaming all of my roots.
I showed up in boots and ruined your black tie fair. The last one to know, the last one to show, I was the last one you thought you'd see there.
Adios, muchachos.
I never thought we'd get to hear Brock Heward doing a duet with his own inner voice. But you never know what you're going to get here in the Brock and Salk Show. Great job, Maura. Another phenomenal edition of Here's the Thing. Great job to all of you out there. If you want to participate, download the Seattle Sports app, and you can leave us messages that way. All right, let's see. Adam Jude's going to join us in 20. We got everything you need to know next. Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob.
He is Derek Hall.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
Tell us a little bit about the personality of your coach, Mike McDonald.
A younger guy is just more relatable in the sense to his players and know what we go through on a daily basis. He's just so smart. He walks up and be like, y'all guys do this and do that, and guess what? I do football and more football. And I think that's the biggest thing, man. He shakes your hand and do thumb wars and stuff like that, man. But he's amazing. He's amazing.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here, and yeah, I've had a couple sports injuries through the years. What? Separated shoulder, torn rib cartilage, dislocated ankle, broken fingers, concussions. I know a little bit about pain, but you don't have had to have played pro football to know what I'm talking about. I know many of you woke up this morning with painful joints from arthritis, and it can affect anyone and make it hard to do just about anything. Well, that is where my buddy, Dr. Daniel Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine right over there in Kirkland, that's where he comes to play. He has seen so many patients through the years suffering from chronic joint pain caused by arthritis and bursitis and tendonitis. So don't let pain stop you from enjoying your quality of life. Consider Dr. Nelson the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques. So no matter what you walk through the door with, hip, knee, back, ankle, he's seen it and he's done it. Stem cell, PRP, injections. Give him a call this morning at 425-823-4000. That's 425-823-4000. Or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
Are you interested in investing in real estate in the greater Seattle market, but don't want to manage properties, develop real estate, or sign on debt? Hi, it's Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital, based in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 15 years. We've had 0 investor losses and have averaged double-digit returns since inception. Find out why over 800 local investors have invested over $200 million in our Legacy family of funds. Legacy Northwest Fund returned over 12% in both 2007 and 2008. Are you looking at diversification opportunities, especially with what's happening in the market this year? Get in touch with us today. Legacy's family of funds has a limited opening for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or legacyg.com. That's legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investment performance based on average return of LOF1, LOF2, and LSF from 2007 through the date of calculation and after deduction of fees and expenses. Legacy family of funds investments are available to accredited investors only.
Have you tried the dining district at the Bellevue Collection? Grab lunch with friends, meet up for happy hour, and stay for dinner and beyond. You can sample international flavors and local favorites from talented chefs. Try a new cocktail on a rooftop bar or watch the game with friends and explore the lively nightlife scene. The Dining District at the Bellevue Collection, where your taste adventure begins. Learn more at BellevueCollection.com/dining district.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code RADIO to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code RADIO for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code RADIO for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Headed outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nellie on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on SeattleSports.com.
People buy what they believe in. Truth be told, with the brands that we sell here, with the exception of Genesis, our luxury brand, every franchise has multiple competitors in a nearby proximity. We have the benefit of the Lee Johnson reputation of doing the right thing and treating people right, giving people a comfortable and a safe place to do business. Then you have the salespeople, the individual people that you're going to meet. Each individual person has an opportunity to sort of unveil our company spirit and their own individual personality and their ability to serve. I've told people, hey, honestly, everybody makes a good car. But once you get down to it, it's going to be about who you're buying into. As much as you're selling the car, you're selling yourself.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Kinematics Marine Equipment reminds listeners many uniformed personnel and healthcare providers will spend this holiday season working hard to keep us safe. These heroic men and women spend long hours away from home, protecting our freedom and providing critical medical care. Please thank them for their many sacrifices and putting their lives on the line for us every day. Happy holidays to you and yours from the entire team at Kinematics Marine Equipment, your nationwide source for marine deck gear for over 40 years. Online at kinematicsmarine.com.
If you're injured in the state of Washington, here's what matters. Who represents you matters. The experience of their staff matters. Their investigation team and track record of success matters. Davis Law Group was founded in Seattle and has been winning cases for more than 30 years. We know Washington State, we know our courts, and we know how to deliver the highest level of client satisfaction. And that's what matters.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Well, congratulations to the McDonald family. Jack David McDonald, the new baby son of the head coach. He arrived in the world on, Tuesday? So congratulations to them. He returned to the building yesterday, ready to coach. Got maybe a few big challenges ahead of him this week, getting ready for a huge game against Arizona. Questions about special teams and who is going to end up in the run pack portion of that. They're doing essentially open competitions, and it sounds like both Kenny McIntosh and Zach Charbonnet were back there taking some reps yesterday. As for the running game, the plan does seem to be to stick with Laumea this week.
That's the plan right now. There's a couple mentals to start out the game. But, talking about rookie playing his first meaningful NFL action, we felt him out there. I thought he did a great job getting used to the game, so excited about him. But that's the plan right now, is to stick with Tawa.
I think that's right. That sounds pretty accurate. I did feel like you felt him throughout that game.
Yeah, I think DJ said moving people, right? I mean, that's just such a big part of it. It's so hard to do at the NFL level, right? I mean, I think I asked Mike McDonald that the other day, Little Football 101, of why you can throw it really at any level, high school and college and pro. There's not, like that drastic of a difference.
Mm-hmm.
You can run it in high school. You can still run it for 200 yards a game like a lot of teams do. And both teams I'll see tomorrow night in Boise and UNLV both run for 230 yards a game. Hard to run in the NFL. Like really hard to do, because it's really hard to move these kind of talents at the line of scrimmage in a phone booth the way you've got to do it consistently. But Laumea showed some of that, and hopefully is a little bit more of a complete game this time around.
Clean up the mentals, and maybe you do have a little something there. Injury report looked pretty great yesterday. No big surprises, and maybe the best news: Chenna Nwosu practiced fully, and we'll see what happens.
Was Abe Lucas out though? That was the one.
He was, but I think they've been doing that. Giving him some rest. I don't think there was any
tomorrow.
Yeah,
watch today. Because that, usually they put that NIR, non-injury rest, next to Tyler Lockett and next to some of those guys.
But I don't think that would be accurate in his case. I think they're still giving him rest because of the knee, but I don't think it's necessarily that
just keep an eye on
anything happened. All right. Huge game tonight. Lions hosting the Packers. That'll be a great Thursday night game. And congratulations back to Chenna for a moment. He was the nominee, Seahawks nominee, as the Walter Payton Man of the Year.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Some more detail here in 10 minutes with Adam Jude, but he reported yesterday that the Mariners and Phillies did connect on an Alec Bohm trade thought. Turns out the Phillies said, yeah, we'd love to do that. How about you give us either George Kirby or Logan Gilbert? And the Mariners said, hopefully, no, and then no again, and then no a third time, and then no with an exclamation point and capital letters and italicized and underlined and everything else, because that would be a horrible trade. Some other names, though, are intriguing. John Morosi mentioned two yesterday with Wyman and Bob.
One name that I'd mention as well, we talked about Nico Horner with the Cubs, is Isaac Paredes, who is their short. He plays third base. He can play some second as well. He can play some first. But because they have a young prospect named Matt Shaw coming up, I think that Paredes would be available in the right deal. And so I think that's he's a guy to watch there as a possibility. Again, Horner is a dynamic, just wizard with the glove at second base, one of the best in the world. I think Paredes is maybe not the class of defender that Horner is, but he's a good offensive player who I think would really help the Mariners too. And he's pretty good at avoiding strikeouts and putting the ball in play by the modern definition of that, which I think we know the Mariners really have to address that this offseason.
Yeah, so another name we talked about last year at the deadline, Paredes, plus a name like Nico Horner. I mean, there are options out there that aren't Alec Bohm.
Why? It's interesting looking at Bohm's numbers here. All right, I'm trying to see both sides of it here a little bit with Lau.
Appreciate that.
Like, he's a career 277 hitter.
Yeah.
Career 743 OPS. Why is the WAR so minimal?
Bad defensive player.
Until last year.
Huh?
Until last year. Last year he had a good defensive season.
Right. Which is why the WAR finally went up. I mean, has not been a good defensive player. Doesn't hit for a lot of power, even though he plays in a big hitter's park.
I got to tell you, I like him more than Paredes. I got to be honest. Paredes was such a merchant of Tropicana Field. There's a chart showing all of his home runs in Tampa were like wall scrapers over that short left field wall. Then once he got to Chicago, he struggled.
Did he just speed his voice up, or was that his actual voice?
It sounded like Pete Carroll there for a minute.
I did speed
Dave
it up.
Cameron?
Sounded like a mean tweet. Right there. Was that a yodel?
Sure, let's go with that.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
There's a weird story out of the Seattle Storm franchise that started a couple of weeks ago, and apologies, I missed it, but they had a full investigation externally by a law firm after there were some allegations of bullying and harassment of players last season from the coaching staff, and so they investigated. Yesterday, the investigation came back with no wrongdoing whatsoever, and Jewel Lloyd apparently is now requesting a trade despite playing her entire career here.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of this.
Me neither.
I really don't. I don't know if this is a play. Like, I don't really like these coaches, and so I'm going to ask for an investigation. Why? Why can't that be right?
I've never heard of anything like that in sports. I don't like my coaching staff, so rather than just asking for a trade, I'm going to accuse them of harassment? That's a pretty big leap.
It could be. I don't know.
And then at the end of it, I'm just going to ask for a trade anyway?
Huh?
I don't know, man. That would be quite a stretch.
Yep.
Wow.
So we'll see. The rest of the details will come out on this thing.
Sure they will.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
All right, Kraken will be back at it tonight on Long Island. That's everything you need to know. 1/4 every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. If you are looking for something to do or something to watch starting tonight, if you would allow me just a moment to recommend a show that debuts on Amazon Prime. Everybody has Amazon Prime, right? Amazon Prime starts today at 4 o'clock, and it'll be available after that. It's called The Sticky. And it is about the Great Canadian Maple Syrup Heist. It's sort of a comedy. And
is this what your buddy wrote?
This was written by one of my high school best friends, a guy named Brian Donovan.
Wow.
And so he's been toiling away in the comedy writing thing for years. And it is final. This is his thing. He's the showrunner. He's the lead writer on it. He and his writing partner, and it comes out today. So I'm super excited for him. Yeah, it follows this like Canadian maple syrup farmer who starts a big like heist. And it's Margot Martindale, who I know a lot of people love, Chris Diamantopoulos, who a lot of people love as well. So some good cast members, some good actors, and Jamie Lee Curtis is involved with the whole thing as well.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah. So anyway, if you have some time, go download and watch The Sticky starting at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Apparently things come out at midnight London time on Amazon. Did you know that? I just found that out yesterday.
I did not know that.
Yeah. I was like, Brian, we're ready to go tomorrow. It's like, yeah, midnight London time. Like, what? So strange. So there you go. If you have some time, watch The Sticky on Amazon tonight. We'll be right back with the always sticky Adam Jude next on Brock and Salk.
Seattle Sports has your chance to win 4 tickets to the Seahawks Sunday night football game against the Green Bay Packers December 15th.
10-5, touchdown, Seahawks!
Head to the Seattle Sports app, click the Win tab in the bottom right corner, and enter for your chance to win.
Holy catfish!
You can enter once per day, so the more times you enter via the Seattle Sports app, the better your odds will be. Do it every day, December 4th through December 9th. Details and rules at seattlesports.com/win.
Direct savings and client focus, the cornerstones of the Diamond Dave philosophy.
Hi, I'm Diamond Dave Cantor. My team and I at Cantor Diamond can be your trusted friends with an inside scoop on the diamond world.
Just like they are to thousands of people around the world.
And just like we have been for over 34 years.
At Cantor Diamond, it's all about the diamonds and the savings, not paying for high-end retail locations or the overhead of a mall.
You stand to save big time with our by appointment professional office approach, combined with direct importing.
When you choose Cantor Diamond, you choose huge savings, top quality, and excellent service. Call, email, or message us for an in-person appointment.
Or sit back and relax for free FedEx shipping anywhere in the USA.
Call Diamond Dave at 253-272-7007. That's 253-272-7007. Or follow them on Instagram at Cantor Diamond. That's at Kantor Diamond.
I don't want to dig up my yard if I don't have to. That's why I hired O'Neill Plumbing. They're Seattle's trenchless plumbing pros. All rooter, all trenchless, always professional. O'Neill Plumbing since 1917.
You know what's really getting old? Having to do more with less. With Ramp, you can do more with more. Ramp is the corporate card and expense management software that saves businesses like yours an average of 5%. That's more for you to invest back into your operations, your staff, your bottom line, you name it. And that means less time spent on manual tasks, less time spent closing your books, and less time spent worrying about where your money went. All with Ramp.
I grew my hospitality company fast. So fast that we actually felt serious growing pains. Ramp helped us automate our manual expense tracking, saving the team valuable time. Now we have more time to spend on what really matters, our guests and their experience.
Ramp gives you more time, more visibility, and more control over your business. Don't settle for anything less. Start using Ramp for free today at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's RAMP.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey everyone, Rick Witters, owner of Cressy Door. Our family-owned business has been taking care of our neighbors every winter since 1952. On behalf of Cressy Door and all our wonderful families, we would like to wish you all happy holidays.
Some said a life-threatening brain tumor would dim Aisley's spark. But this future pop star is back to full sparkle, and she's ready for her big encore. Through research, compassionate care, and support from people like you, Seattle Children's is fighting for lasting cures. So for every kid that didn't have a chance, this relentless fight is for you. Because this isn't about beating the odds, it's about changing them for all kidkind. Hope, care, cure. Seattle Children's.
Mariners single game tickets for 2025 are on sale now. The squad will be back in action before you know it. And now's the time to lock in your seats for the biggest games next season. Don't miss opening day on March 27th. Incredible giveaways like the Julio Bat Flip Bubble and matchups versus the Dodgers, Yankees, and more. Plus, check out 30 value games with tickets starting at just $10. Go to Mariners.com to get your tickets today.
A deep blast. This is gone. Home run. Julio.
The Mike McDonald Show. The first word from the head coach after every Seahawks game.
We want to play a certain way, and you're just going to chisel away at it every day.
Presented by Emerald Queen Casino.
Your business needs a network it can count on.
Power's out.
Comcast Business has you covered with Wi-Fi backup to help keep your business up and running, even when your power goes out.
Everybody in the warehouse good? Lights are out, but the Wi-Fi's up. Let's power on.
It's from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Break room, you good?
Can't microwave my burrito, but Wi-Fi's fine. Let's power on.
Power on with the leader in connectivity, Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ask about Wi-Fi backup for your business or get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year contract, plus for a limited time. Ask about an $800 holiday bonus prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call or go online to ComcastBusiness.com today. Ins 12/15/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet and security edge. EcoBill and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
Mike's Western Suppliers and CL Western Apparel remind listeners many uniformed personnel and healthcare providers will spend this holiday season working hard to keep us safe. These heroic men and women spend long hours away from home, protecting our freedom and providing critical medical care. Please thank them for their many sacrifices and putting their lives on the line for us every day. Happy holidays to you and yours from the entire team at Mike's Western Suppliers and CL Western Apparel. Family owned and proudly serving our community for over 30 years.
I'm attorney Rob Iddens, proud Marine Corps veteran and owner of Warrior Injury Law. I'm a fifth-generation Pacific Northwesterner, graduated from UW and Seattle U School of Law. At Warrior Injury Law, we have years of experience in the trenches, fighting insurance companies for the people of Washington, my people. If you've been injured, you need a lawyer that is tough, confident, and battle-tested. Call us at 253-WARRIOR for your free case review. Warrior Injury Law. Battle-tested.
Eddie's! From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Great job reporting yesterday and all the time by Adam Jude, who's been doing just a phenomenal job covering the Mariners for the Seattle Times. And he takes a few minutes to join us now. Good morning, Adam. How are you?
Morning, fellas. Thanks for having me.
How
all the time? All the time feels like all the time.
I think he's doing a great job.
All
you think
the
it's
time?
just sometimes?
Not very nice. What do you think, Jude? Do you think you do it all the time at a great level?
You guys are now. Ryan's going to start texting me. You guys just make Ryan a little jealous, and then it becomes competitive. We don't need that, but I appreciate the love.
All right. Did you get your Christmas tree yet?
We did. Yeah, we're a big Christmas tree family. Try to get that. Not as early this year, but yeah, we got it. What about you guys?
We did. We've gone to a new place. Adam and I used to run into each other at the Christmas tree shop.
Oh, nice.
Or the same farm. So yeah, we've changed it up. I'll give you the details off the air if you're looking for a new spot at some point. Love the report yesterday. Although I will admit I was glad I read beyond the headline because this Alec Bohm thing has kind of got under my skin. The Mariners call about Alec Bohm. Okay, fine. And according to your report, the Phillies say, yeah, let's talk. How about Logan Gilbert or George Kirby? What do you think happened after that?
Yeah, that's a great question. What do you think Jerry said at that point? Probably a long pause and maybe silence after that. If I'm Jerry, I'm probably just hanging up, right? And, it's interesting. My sense is that was early in the off season, and obviously reports have come out in the national media too that Bohm might be available in the trade market. So the Mariners check in. I'm sure a lot of teams have checked in with the Phillies, and if that's the response from the Phillies, hey, this is the price point we're setting at. I think the logical conclusion is that Alec Bohm really isn't available on the trade market. It's kind of the same thing, the same stance Jerry has had when teams have called about their starting pitchers. They're not really available. If you want to talk, it's going to cost you basically your two best prospects or your number one player on your team right now. And again, no one's willing to meet that price right now. It tells me that the Phillies really don't want to trade Alec Bohm right now. They're in their contention window, right? They're a team that expects to be in the hunt for the World Series next year. Why would they want to, take away, their starting third baseman and all-star right now? Obviously, there have been some reports about, his fit or maturity and all that too, and maybe they're trying to sell high after his one first-time All-Star season and all that. But again, you see the logic from the Mariners' point of view. They're trying to check in on everybody right now. And again, Alec Bohm, and I wrote yesterday too that Nico Horner with the Cubs is another guy that they've checked in on. Right now, both of those clubs, the Phillies and the Cubs too, see themselves as contenders this next year. They want a proven major league piece coming back. The Mariners are more willing to dangle some of their top prospects right now. They just haven't been able to find any takers because there are so many teams that are trying to improve their major league roster right now and trying to make a playoff push next year. So that's kind of where things stand here in the middle of the offseason.
Are you going to head down to the winter meetings?
I'll be there. Yeah, Ryan and I will both be there. And, it'll be fascinating. Obviously, as we sit here on December 5th, Jerry Dipoto has made what I think we can call one kind of minor move, getting Austin Shenton back from the Tampa Bay Rays. But at this time of year, Jerry's used to transacting, just about every other day. So I'm kind of imagining Jerry sitting in his office, kind of going through withdrawals at this point and maybe, scratching his skin a little bit. It's kind of like Divish, by 11 o'clock in the morning, if he hasn't had his 3 scoops of creatine in his smoothie yet, kind of going through withdrawals and he's irritable.
Yeah, those are just the DTs. That's different.
Jerry, what do we know about Jerry? We have, almost a decade with Jerry Dipoto running things now. He's going to make moves. He wants to make moves. And guess what? he's armed with one of the best farm systems in baseball. And I think if Jerry had his way, he would dangle a few of those guys. He would absolutely trade a few of those guys if it helps the Mariners get better right now. The Mariners recognize the window is wide open. They have the best 1 through 5 starting rotation in baseball. They have Julio Rodriguez. They have Cal Raleigh, probably the best catcher in baseball right now. They're expecting bounce-back season from J.P. Crawford. They've got a full year of Randy Arozarena now. They recognize what's going on, and I think they know that they're one kind of middle-of-the-order bat away from being a true, legitimate contender in the American League. I just don't know who that guy's going to be. And when you pigeonhole yourself into saying, hey, now we need a third baseman, you call a team like the Phillies, who have the most affordable third baseman on the market, of course they're going to have leverage in those negotiations. And so they're at kind of a sticky point here. I'm curious to see in the next couple of weeks what the Mariners do. My thinking more likely is that they're going to go into January before anything major happens. And part of that is the Roki Sasaki sweepstakes. That's going to play into all of it too. So it's going to be a fascinating, week here in Dallas for the winter meetings, and then the next couple weeks after that, just to see if the Mariners are able to make some headway.
One of the things, talking to Adam Jude here, one of the things that jumps out to me when you talk about how little they've done is that maybe they want it that way. And I know that sounds odd given everything you just said about Jerry, but if you truly believe that what happened in the last 5 or 6 weeks of last year was the true Mariner offense, and that all it needed was Edgar and Dan to unlock all these great hitters who were being kept down by the previous regime, do you really need to do that much? I mean, obviously you still need to do something at second and third or whatever, but do you need to go big? Maybe they don't think they do.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. And if you ask me to bet my mortgage right now, I would say the Mariners 1 through 4 in their lineup is already set. You got Victor Robles at the top. You got Julio. You got Arozarena, and you got Cal Raleigh. You might even extend that to 1 through 5 if you look at Luke Raley as more or less an everyday player between first base and right field, DH maybe, as maybe your number 5 hitter right now too. And so maybe that's not what Mariner fans want to hear. I know everyone wants to make a splash and get that big middle of the order bat. Again, to me, Christian Walker is a guy I've been pounding the table for since, the trade deadline in July. It just makes way too much sense for the Mariners. But I just don't get the feeling that they have the budget to go out and get what it takes for even a guy at 34 years old who might only, get a 2 or 3 year deal, but he's probably going to get $25 million a year. And the Mariners just don't have that to spend right now. And again, they're trying to patchwork it together. And ultimately, yes, they would like an impact bat, whatever that looks like, at second or third base. Again, if the Cubs sort of change their tune a little bit, I do feel like Nico Hoerner is a name to keep an eye on.
Mm-hmm.
The Cubs' top prospect, Matt Shaw, is knocking on the door. He's more of a second baseman, and they're ready to kind of push him in. And Nico Hoerner's getting expensive. I think he's going to make 11 or 12 million that's coming up this year. And so, to me, he'd be an amazing fit for what the Mariners need. But again, are the Cubs willing to take a prospect or two for him? They're not at this point in the offseason. Again, the Mariners are probably smart to wait as well. You wait for these top pitchers to come off the market here, Corbin Burns and Max Fried. Somebody's going to be left wanting another ace, whether it's the Yankees or the Red Sox or the Mets. And the Mariners are still sitting here with 5 guys that everyone would love to have. If someone is willing to pay over the top, pay 125% for one of your 5 starting pitchers, the Mariners would have to listen. But as things stand, I know they really do not want to trade one of their starting pitchers because it obviously gives them, an incredible floor. And they, at the end of the day, they look at, man, if we could take these 5 pitchers and Matt Brash and Andres Munoz into the playoffs, they obviously feel like they're going to be a dangerous team. And so it gives them an incredibly high floor with those 5. And again, if I'm asked to bet the farm, I don't think the Mariners end up trading one of those pitchers.
Adam, is there any indicator in the market heading into next week that it's going to be active? Is there any thought? Do you look at any of these transactions that have occurred yet and go, ooh, okay, next week when I'm with Short Shorts and Divish and everybody else down there in Dallas, we're going to actually see some things happen?
I don't need to see a lot of the Short Shorts, but I do think we'll see Juan Soto come off the board. A lot of reporting that could happen as soon as, this weekend. And I think, ideally the floodgates kind of open from there. Again, the starting pitchers will start to come off. pretty quickly, you would think. And then, the second tier sort of teams, which the Mariners fall into, will be able to start spending some of their money a little bit as well. Juan Soto kind of dictates everything, and then it'll kind of go from there. It's interesting. I was reminded that it was in Dallas, 24 years ago, the 2000 winter meetings where A-Rod was a free agent, and there was so much buzz, similar buzz to what Juan Soto's getting now. And obviously he got a record deal. A-Rod did at that time, $252 million. And here comes Juan Soto back in Dallas, and he's going to get some sort of record deal, no doubt. I still think it might end up north of $700 million for Juan Soto, which is obviously wild, but he's probably worth it at the end of the day. So, once that comes off, then you've got those other major market teams knowing what the rest of their offseason will look like, and they start to spend a little bit more on the next guys, and then it'll kind of trickle down effect. We'll eventually hit the Mariners here.
All right. Well, as long as we know that George Kirby and Logan Gilbert aren't going to Philly for Alec Boehm, I think we can safely say this was productive conversation that we've had here today. Thank you, Adam. Great stuff, as always. Enjoy the winter meetings. Lyle will be down there as well. Sounds like Divish will be there, and I'm sure Dan Kramer will be there, the whole crew. You guys can enjoy Dallas together. So we'll talk soon. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, fellas.
All right, there you go. Great stuff from Adam Jude of the Seattle Times. And I seriously, jokes aside, he is doing an awesome job on that beat since taking it over. I've been really, really impressed with it. He's a really good reporter and just a likable guy. And I think those two things go a long way to doing a heck of a job on that beat.
High energy, dude. You know what's unfortunate is that Jerry DiPoto's not in college football. Because Jerry DiPoto would love college football. He would love the transactional nature of it every single day, right? All the portal moves that you can make, the recruiting, the transfers. I mean, it is so transactional. Lyle's Arizona State Sun Devils are going to have 46 guys. They have 46 new scholarship players, 60 new players on their team, 46 of those guys on scholarship. So they can turn it in an instant if that is, what you want to do. And obviously you've got to have some of the funds and some of the support and everything else to make that happen. But that has become the most transactional sport there is. And I am curious to see, because I think the last few years, the last few trade deadlines, how transactional are people willing to be? Well, when you have 20 of the 30 teams that feel like, you know what, we're kind of in it. We're pretty darn close to it. How transactional, say for the Tampa team, which Jerry and Justin have a great relationship with and have made a ton of moves with, like, can you still make those kind of moves with all of the rest of the market that you need to do?
I think those are very, very fair questions, especially if you're trying to be a draft, develop, and trade organization. You've drafted and developed a pretty darn good farm system. How interested are teams going to be in making trades for that? And if you are trading guys out of your farm system that are, real big-time players, is it for guys that you then have to pay? Right? I mean, like Juan Soto went twice for all kinds of prospects.
Yep.
But you got to be able and willing to pay him the big salary that's going to come with the trade for a guy. So it is, you're right, getting more complicated quickly here, because I want to go around the NFL. Lyle had let's get to Lyle's. Lyle had an idea. I challenged Lyle to be a little bit more creative than just being like, oh, well, Boehm's a third baseman, stick him in there. Like, come up with another name, be creative, find another way to do this.
Okay, let's not act like some of the biggest baseball reporters aren't reporting this too. Like Lyle just
I'm making fun of them. I'm making fun of them just as much as, no, I'm not making fun of Lyle. I was challenging Lyle to go beyond all of them, to come up with something real. Like, give me something interesting. And so he came up with an interesting name, and we'll do that at 9 o'clock. Right now, though, let's go. Can I roll my R for that? Around the NFL.
Oh.
Kind of. Not great at it.
I was trying to defend Lyle, and here I am not.
All right, hold on. While you're pulling that up, I'll tell people that Holiday Magic Online, the big auction, is live. You can join Seattle Sports, KIRO News Radio, and Treehouse for the 36th year of Holiday Magic. Incredible one-of-a-kind items are out there for bidding, Brock, like racing around the field with your favorite celebrity salmon. You want to go king, silver, sockeye, humpy? Whatever you like, an exclusive salmon race experience. The auction runs through December 11th. Don't miss out. Your participation helps provide holiday gifts and year-round support for children and youth in foster care across the state. Go to mynorthwest.com/holidaymagic and learn more and start bidding today.
Okay, I recovered. Sorry.
Got you. Got you.
All right, we'll start out. Have you guys heard about this Jahmyr Gibbs thing? So, Lions running back Jahmyr Gibbs posted a picture of his teammate Jamar Jefferson to social media over the weekend without realizing that he was sharing a whiteboard with a ton of their protection code words written on it. So Dan Campbell was asked about it in the post-game Saturday and didn't seem to be aware of it at the time.
You know, there was a bunch of plays or partial calls on the whiteboard behind him. Is that something where you need to just remind a player to, you know, be smart about what they're posting on social media? Is there anything, you know, that could... Who's that? I believe Gibbs posted a photo of Jefferson with a bunch of, you know, lingo on the whiteboard in the running back room behind him.
Oh, I didn't know that. Did not know that. Okay. Yeah, I need to check on that then. Did not know that. Yeah, I'd rather our stuff not be out there. Thanks.
Then he had a much different tune Monday when he appeared on Costa and Jensen and kind of laughed it off like it was no big deal.
Listen, it's all out there, and you can find any and everything that you need on the tape, and how to attack people, how they're going to attack you. And no, I'm not losing sleep over that. Now, do I want us posting stuff up from our locker room or our players or whatever? No, I don't, because you don't know what's going to happen with something like that. But no, in the grand scheme of things, it's not a big deal.
Well, the internet likes to run with this, and not that you see some of it, but people want to know, like, is Jahmyr Gibbs going to have his playing time impacted by this? Is there any sort of discipline for him?
Yes, because he got on social media, I'm not going to play him anymore.
Right.
So, Brock, how big of a deal is this?
Yeah, well, if he was with Peyton Manning, Peyton would have been really mad at him, I'll tell you that, because it does make you maybe change some of those calls, but you do that anyway. These guys in the league listen to everything. They listen to every TV copy. They certainly, after games, during games, will try to get some of the protection calls, some of the lingo. So they're all a little psychopathic and paranoid about it anyway, that they're going to mix and change things up. So in the grand scheme of things, not a big deal. But be better, Gibbs. Be better.
Yeah, Matt LaFleur was asked about it as well because they're playing the Packers tonight, and he didn't seem to think it was big either.
Yeah, not that big a deal. Not that big a deal. It's kind of like our show sheets. Do we put our show sheets out there? Do I
Yes.
Pictures of those?
Yes. Yes, we do. Actually, yes.
Oh, okay.
Actually, yes.
Top secret.
Yes.
All right, Dak Prescott back.
Do you think he's actually like... Nah, yeah, never mind. I'm going to move on from this story. I had a thought, but just move on. That's fine.
Push.
All right, Dak Prescott backed head coach Mike McCarthy in an interview with Yahoo Sports. There's some interesting wording in here about McCarthy deserving a chance to do things more on his terms. We'll see what you think.
That I believe in him wholeheartedly. I don't want to necessarily get into the nuts and the screws of it all, obviously, but I think he definitely deserves a chance, another contract, and a chance to coach this team amongst and kind of, I guess you can say, more influence on his terms. Maybe a good way to say it. But I wholeheartedly believe in him. The guys won a Super Bowl. I know Jerry's attested to that. There's not many guys or coaches who have done that, and to have one that can do it from experience, but how valuable he's been for me.
What? How long has he been the coach there? 6 years?
By the way, you know what Mike McCarthy might be? A better OC than head coach.
Yeah.
I think he's a pretty good OC. I think their offense is pretty. There's some Andy Reid
for
to it.
6 years, at least. He's been there forever. You're telling me that he hasn't really had the opportunity yet to do what he wants to do?
I thought that was a shot at Jerry Jones.
Jerry has all the groceries.
Well, but any coach is going to have that. I mean, like that's the way it works. Like if you want to be the Dallas, if you want to be the Dallas Cowboy head coach, that's how it works.
Okay, that's how it works there.
Right. Yes.
Yes.
But if you want to be the Dallas Cowboys head coach, that's what you're dealing with.
That's right.
By the way, he's only been there since 2020.
It feels longer. I don't believe that.
That's 5 years. This is fifth year.
I'd like to debate that. I feel like it's been longer than that. I don't think that means anything one way or another. The fact that he's won a Super Bowl isn't particularly meaningful. The fact that Dak thinks that he needs to do it his own way is not particularly meaningful. Deal with reality. Dak, you decided to sign here knowing full well that Jerry was always going to do this.
Yep.
Like, that's the way it works, dude. Sorry.
Yep.
All right, do you want to hear Rams rookie defensive tackle Braden Fisk joined the Kay Adams show, and when asked about his favorite sack this year, he casually mentioned his disdain for the Seattle fan base.
One of the Seattle ones. Any of the Seattle ones, right?
Why the Seattle ones?
I'm tired of hearing from their fans. That's why.
Really? So are you telling me in your rookie year, Seattle fans chirp the most?
Oh, yeah. Seattle fans are the worst.
How come?
I mean, you can walk into the stadium, we got the same guy that stands there with the sign that, he's always chirping different whatever he's got going on. And social media, I try to stay on the social media, but them fans get me. Them Seattle fans, they don't stop.
Nice. Yeah, the 12s. Rent-free right between your ears. Remember Ernest Jones? Ernest Jones kind of saying the same thing, though.
Yeah.
Like, of all the different he hated. It's great. It's what you want.
Well, apparently it's like the one guy that's getting to Braden Fisk that's right at the tunnel when you come out.
It's really seemed to have affected him.
Yeah, it bothers him.
How about he have 12 sacks while he was here a couple weeks ago? I could see he's been really bothered.
Well, it's firing him up. He said he likes these sacks more because of the fans. So maybe
Well,
chirp at him less.
Maybe stop talking to Braden Fisk. He tore them apart in that game.
Yeah, 12s, calm down.
All right,
Actually,
I also
don't.
want to see what you guys think about this. Do you want to do Deontay Johnson getting benched or a little of Nick Caserio going off on the NFL about the Al-Shaair suspension?
Let's go with Nick Caserio.
Okay. Yeah, he really... So a memo was released Tuesday by NFL VP of Football Operations John Runyon announcing Al-Shaair's suspension. It ended by saying your lack of sportsmanship and respect for the game of football and those who play, coach, and enjoy watching it is troubling and does not reflect the core values of the NFL. This was what Nick Caserio had to say in response.
Nobody embodies our program more than Aziz. What he's about, what he's been through. You all know his story. There's not a more selfless individual, more about the team who's earned the respects that represents everything that we want this program to be about. I mean, this morning he was at a United Way event. So we're talking about some of the commentary that has been made about his character, about the person that he is, about what his intentions are, from people that, quite frankly, don't know anything about Aziz Al-Shaair, okay? And for the league to make some of the commentary that they made about lack of sportsmanship, lack of coachability, lack of paying attention to the rules, quite frankly, it's embarrassing. So I think the big thing from our, and they're talking about a player who's never been suspended, never been ejected. So now we're saying that he's going to be suspended for 3 games. I think the big thing from our standpoint, and all teams want this, is just some level of consistency. But I think what we take umbrage is just the picture that's been painted about Aziz, his intentions, who he is as a person. I mean, quite frankly, it's bull.
Man,
that's a good defense.
Yeah.
By the way, Nick, I'm there for that.
I mean, there's been some people posting videos of when John Runyon played and some dirty plays he had that are making this
But the
a little
game was
more
different
ironic.
then, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's the whole point, is that they've done things to change the way the game is played. Look, I think both sides can actually be a little bit right on this one. You got to suspend him for plays like that, especially because it's not the first one. But good on Cesario for truly defending his guy. That's exactly what he should do.
Was he a New England guy, Cesario?
He was.
came out-
Yeah, he was a player personnel guy for a long time.
Yeah. And that's a big deal for them. I mean, 3 games is a big deal for a team that has kind of taken a step back in Houston, right? Trying to live in a world now of expectations, and their quarterback is...
They barely beat Jacksonville with Mac
Correct.
Jones in most of the game the other day.
Yeah, correct.
How
I
come
agree
Mac
with you.
Jones was in?
It's Al-Shaair.
Trevor Lawrence's head,
Hit Trevor Lawrence pretty
his
hard.
head was separated from his
I
body.
do like Caserio mentioning that he was at a United Way event, as
Yeah.
if that...
Oh, he did charity, so
We're
he's fine.
talking about him being a dirty player on the field. That doesn't...
Yeah, but he went to United Way event more. It's fine. It's all totally
no one
fine.
said he was a bad guy off the field.
Yeah, it's totally fine. He went to United Way. So don't worry about it. Okay. Great trip around the NFL. We'll come back for some more NFL conversation at 9:30. I want to do some of that Geno stuff, Brock, that you brought up earlier. We'll talk to Evan Cohen from the ESPN Morning Show on Sportsmanlike coming up at 9:30. Before we get there, though, we issued the challenge. Lyles responded. One gigantic name, Brock. You want to hear it? It's next on Brock and Salk.
Yeah.
Seattle Sports, your home for Bob and Stacy.
Congratulations to Leonard Williams. He was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week. But it really does speak to the success John Schneider and the Seahawks front office have had with in-season trade acquisitions. 2010, Marshawn Lynch. 2017, Dwayne Brown. 2019, Quandre Diggs. 2024, Ernest Jones, obviously making a massive difference. I mean, this is like batting 1,000.
This is what they do. They are good at mid-round adjustments.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
The holidays remind us how good it feels to be proud and confident in our appearance when gathering with friends and family. If hair loss is getting in your way, then my good friends at Advanced Hair offer the proven solution. It's the simple one-day treatment I received, the Advanced FUE. Advanced Hair begins regrowing your own natural hair the very next day, and that new hair is guaranteed to grow for life. You choose how much and where, and they do the rest. Advanced Hair has helped tens of thousands of people, including me, and they are the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. World-class Dr. Perongo and his top-rated team use breakthrough technology, delivering real results. The before and afters at advancedhair.com are surprising and incredible. Address thinning, receding, or balding today. And to celebrate the holidays, get a free consultation, 250 free hair grafts, and $250 off. Simply call 425-449-8185. That's 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Safety comes first. When money is tight, Buc-ee's has you covered with available financing. For oil changes, wiper blades, brakes, tire rotation, tune-ups, and factory maintenance, it's Buc-ee's Complete Auto. No appointment necessary and financing's available. Check Buc-ee's.com for the location near you.
Roof now, pay later. Hi, I'm Sam Thomason, owner of State Roofing. Take advantage of our zero down, zero payments, and zero interest for up to a year. We've partnered with leading lenders to make the replacement or repair of your roof affordable. Flexible financing options are available to take the worry out of an unexpected expense. Call us today at 866-ROOF-ROOF to schedule a free no-obligation estimate or visit us at stateroofing.com. That's stateroofing.com.
State Roofing, the best roof you'll ever need.
O'Brien Auto Group has some of the best new car brands in the Northwest. Those great new vehicles make the best pre-owned vehicles as well. O'BrienAutoGroup.com for the best factory certified vehicles. O'BrienAutoGroup.com for a large selection of the best pre-owned cars and trucks. O'BrienAutoGroup.com. Choose from hundreds of SUVs, trucks, hybrids, EVs, and more. O'BrienAutoGroup.com. One site is all you need. That's OBRIEN Autogroup.com.
O'Brien. Some said a life-threatening brain tumor would dim Aisley's spark. But this future pop star is back to full sparkle, and she's ready for her big encore. Through research, compassionate care, and support from people like you, Seattle Children's is fighting for lasting cures. So for every kid that didn't have a chance, this relentless fight is for you. Because this isn't about beating the odds, it's about changing them for all kidkind. Hope, care, cure. Seattle Children's.
Hey Seahawks fans, Tyler Lockett for Brown Bear Car Wash. We've got the perfect play for a spotless car. With the Unlimited Wash Club, you can keep your car game ready all season long. It isn't clean unless it's Brown Bear clean.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large. Because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-885-9700. 800-885-9700. 800-885-9700.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large. Because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
This hour is brought to you by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Give me a freaking auto! From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Heward and Matt Marcus. Sorry about just Mike.
Heward, not exactly Joe Cap there in the pocket.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
Let me give you a piece of good news, Brock. You were worried earlier that Abe Lucas was not practicing yesterday because of his knee, and I told you don't worry too much, little grasshopper. I think you'll like this piece of news. Today on the Huddle, Abe Lucas and Tyrese Knight will both be on the Huddle with Bump and Stacy, Wyman, and I'm going to guess if Abe Lucas is doing the Huddle, he's just fine.
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
I feel better about that.
I figured that would help you feel a little bit better. If you have similar types of fantasy questions, Maura's got you covered at 9:45 this morning with the fantasy forecast. So please text us if you've got, or text her really, if you have questions for Maura at 9:45. She's ready for them now. You can text 866-979-3776. That's Mac and Jack's text line, and Maura will offer whatever advice you need to help get you through Week 14 of the fantasy schedule. 866-979-3776. All right, I challenged Lyle, Brock, to come up with a better deal than, trading for Alec Boehm. Like, think big. Don't just fill the spot, just like we don't like to fill segments. Like, oh, what are we going to do here? I don't know. We're going to fill it. Like, no, come up with a good idea. Come up with somebody that is going to provide impact at one of the open positions for the Mariners and try to create a realistic scenario in which you could be creative and work a deal. And I don't know if this would work or not. I'm not sure that the other team says yes to it, but I love the thinking. I think it's within the realm of possible, even if it wouldn't happen. And I think it's worth discussing, at least as a starting point.
All right.
Yeah, my mind was stern about this last night, bro. Kind of like you, how you sometimes get started on things and start thinking about things and you just get going. My mind got going about this. So, here's what I cooked up. I said, how can the Mariners really get better at third base? And I also wanted to do a couple of things. You mentioned yesterday, you think that the Mariners really might have to shell out some of their prospects. They might have to unload some of them. Salk said he doesn't want Alec Boehm. And I also tried to get into the mind of Jerry DiPoto, who usually just doesn't do the things that are out there for speculation by the media. He usually throws people for a little bit of a loop. So I tried to think of all those three things and say to myself, what could the Mariners really do to get better? So here's what I thought of. You package Luis Castillo, and you also get very serious about shipping away some of your prospects. So I said Celestine, and I said either Harry Ford or Farmelo, whichever one this team would want more. And it's a package of those three guys. In what world could possibly the Braves entertain the idea of trading away Austin Riley, who needs starting pitching, by the way? That is my idea. Who is, you want to talk about top-tier third baseman and high-end third baseman? That's a high-end third baseman who you put in the middle of the lineup and immediately provides serious impact for this team. What do you think? Kind of out there. It's a little bit of a crazy idea, but an idea.
It's impact. It's impact. I just don't know, and I appreciate Adam Jude saying multiple times. So again, it's not only coaches that I listen to when they repeat themselves. It's reporters. When they're around a team, and as close as Adam has gotten over the last year plus of covering it, when he said high floor, right? When you got these five, you got a high floor. You got a high floor. Got a high floor. I think 3 different times he said that, and he's right. Right, you kind of have this rotation and these kind of arms, and it gives you an opportunity to win 80 games. Yeah, right. You shouldn't fall below 80 games.
If you're the Mariners, you should do that deal immediately. By the way,
it's impact.
The team that would say no to that deal is the Braves, not the Mariners. Like, if you're the Mariners, you should do that immediately.
Yep.
Like, I don't even think it's in thinking more about it. I'm not really sure it's that close. You give up Luis Castillo, which stinks. I love Castillo, and I still think there's a lot of value left there. But okay, like you can absolutely survive with 4 other starting pitchers and one of the other guys you've got. Maybe it's Hancock. Maybe it's somebody that you go out at, a veteran kind of pitcher who's not at that, Lance Lynn. I brought up some of those other names before. Maybe it's Logan Evans. Like, you've got dudes. You've got enough depth at that spot. And you can win with 4 very good starting pitchers instead of 5, as long as you have more impact in your lineup. And the difference between Austin Riley and Alec Boehm is pretty darn significant. In fact, it's gigantic.
And Boehm would be here a long time. He's on a long contract, which is another reason why this might throw a wrench into things and why the
Braves
Braves
is signed through 2032. Right, it's a 10-year, $212 million deal.
It is, but he also is
2032.
He's steadily owed $22 million a year. So it's not like as the deal goes on, you have to pay him $30, $40 million.
It doesn't go crazy. You're right.
No. So it stays the same. And Luis is owed $24 million over each of the next couple of years.
Unlike some of the other hitters that sign gigantic deals like this, it doesn't take him into his 40s or even really his late 30s. The last year of this deal is age 35. So while that's not, optimal, it's much better than some of the other, Trey Turner or some of those guys who are going to be 40, 42 years old.
There are teams that want to sign Christian Walker right now at age 34.
Great point.
Yeah, it'll just be really interesting to get a feel for the market. Jude seems to think that once the big domino falls, that the rest of the things will follow. And I will be really, once Soto goes, I'll be really curious what this market does do. The Mariners need a little luck. Mariners need a little movement in the market. They need some more players. They need those, both John Schneider and Jerry DiPoto, both of those guys are transactional, right? They are willing to take some risks. They are really willing to make moves. I will be really curious what this market does. If we do see, a hitter go. I think right now, unfortunately, these organizations are saying, what's a lot harder to find? It's a lot harder to find an Austin Riley than it is an elite pitcher. It just is, and I know that's counterintuitive, and it's counterintuitive to what baseball has been for a long time. You need arms, you need arms, you need arms. Yeah, you know what you need? Young bats, and they're really, really hard to find. Those kind of young impact bats that can hit today's pitching. We did this with Sean Green in Detroit, remember? The trade deadline. And then all of a sudden Detroit, takes 5 or 6 from the Mariners and goes on their run. And I talked to some people in that Detroit organization. Never. He's so hard to find. That is harder to find than a Logan Gilbert, harder to find than a George Kirby. Those seem to be developed and found around baseball. But the Austin Rileys, the Sean Greens, these young difference-making bats. Riley Green, sorry, are hard. Yeah, there is a Sean Green. Yeah, Riley Green.
Sean Green is the old Dodgers first baseman from a long time ago.
Yep.
Nice Jewish boy.
Oh yeah, he was.
He was. Yeah.
Do you buy that? That unfortunately,
it's hard. That's why I said if you're the Mariners, say yes to that immediately.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't think the Braves would do that, but I like. Look, here's why I think it's a fun thought conversation starter type of a thing. What you've suggested is not ridiculous. That's not like dismiss it out of hand, totally ridiculous for either side. I don't know that you're going to convince the Braves to do that, but your point is a good one.
What if you throw Logan or Kirby in there instead of Luis?
Yeah,
it's harder. That's for sure.
I was going to say that might intrigue the Braves a little bit more. I still think I would highly.
The problem there, though, is the money. Like if it's Logan or Kirby, you're not balancing out the money. It almost has to be.
Well, maybe what if they say we'll pay some of the money down?
No, then maybe that makes it possible. The thing is, the reason you would be doing this with the Braves would be so that they could try to sign Alex Bregman. Right? I mean, they would almost have to go and say, all right, we want both Luis Castillo and Alex Bregman and prospects. And if we end up with all of those things, we're willing to part with Austin Riley. That's got to be your plan there, right? Is that you are helping them get maybe slightly better or at the very least, adding a premier pitcher in order to not get too much worse at third base.
They need pitching. Atlanta. I know Chris Sale just won the Cy Young, but he's up in his mid-30s.
I like your thought. I like the thought process.
You know what the Mariners need? Impact. Difference-making impact.
Or just a random third baseman who had half of a good season once. Either one would be totally great. We'll come back, give you guys everything you need to know, and then we'll talk quarterbacks with Evan Cohen coming up at 9:30. Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com.
It's picked off. Leo Williams, he's running like a racehorse.
This Sunday, the Seahawks hope to bolster their lead in the West as they head to Glendale.
Holy smokes, are you kidding? Leo Williams is going to take it in for a touchdown. Seahawks.
Hawks, Cardinals in a consequential rematch.
JSN makes the catch down to the 20-yard line. Are you kidding me? Holy catfish.
Kickoff 105, pregame starting at 10 on your home for the Hawks, Seattle Sports.
Hey, Brock Ewart here, and I've had a few sports injuries, and we certainly talk about them. We just did with a certain football player here in town, whether it's knee or shoulder or back or any of those things, but you don't have to play pro sports to know what I'm talking about. I know some of you hear me right now, got painful joints from arthritis that you woke up with this morning, and it can affect you and make it hard to do pretty much anything. Well, that is where my friend, Dr. Daniel Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine, right over there in Kirkland, is ready for you. He has seen so many patients suffering from chronic joint pain caused by arthritis or bursitis or tendonitis or maybe just blunt force trauma through the years. It's catching up to you. Don't let pain stop you from your quality of life. Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience, 3 decades in pain medicine techniques. So whether it's stem cell, whether it's PRP, whether it's injections, he has been there, he has done it, and he will help you. And he's ready for your call this morning at 425-823-4000, 425-823-4000, or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
Here at NC Machinery, people always ask, what can you do with Cat compact equipment? Well, here goes. Build gardens, patios, and parking, set posts and poles, plant trees, remove pipes, stumps, and rocks, clear snow, brush, and trees, trench, grade, and maintain. Landscape your backyard, your front yard, your neighbor's yard. Get through doorways, alleyways, and fence gates. Build roads, trails, fire breaks. Move gravel, wood chips, and hay. Clean pens and barns. Break concrete, asphalt, and gravel. Use tools like hammers, tampers, trenchers, mulchers, and mowers. And for the doers doing, the landscapers, contractors, and landowners digging, call NC Machinery to get 0% for 60 months on select compact equipment. Terms and conditions apply.
Want to listen to Seattle Sports on your smart speaker?
Hey, smart speaker, play Seattle Sports.
This message is powered by the EQC Sportsbook at Emerald Queen Casino. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Toyotathon is here at Toyota of Kirkland. To celebrate the event, Toyota of Kirkland has purchased $3 million worth of certified used and pre-owned vehicles on the lot ready for you to test drive and take home. The largest selection of certified used and pre-owned vehicles during Toyotathon can only be found at Toyota of Kirkland. Visit the wonderful team and beautiful showroom at Toyota of Kirkland today or online at toyotaofkirkland.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
I started Davis Law Group in 1994 to fight for the underdog. And as our team has grown, we've stayed true to that mission. Today, Davis Law Group is known for providing excellent service and even better results. Visit WashingtonAccidentBooks.com to get your free book on car accident law.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
The Pacific Northwest is the perfect backdrop for the holiday season. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law reminds us that the roadways don't always agree.
It's that combination of additional travel, changes in routine, and winter weather that make this the most dangerous time of the year to be behind the wheel.
Any safety tips to help commuters keep the holidays joyful?
The number one cause of accidents remains distracted driving, even during the holidays. So store that cell phone in a place that eliminates temptation. It's imperative we set the example for our teens. Also, be aware of abrupt changes in the weather and prepare for it. Sometimes it's as simple as allowing additional distance for following or stopping. Lastly, make sure your vehicle is properly maintained for winter.
That includes four-wheel drive and chains when required at the pass. Please follow these safety precautions from my good friends at Pendergast Law and keep you and your neighbors safe this holiday season.
Happy holidays from all of us at Pendergast Law.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
You know what's really getting old? Having to do more with less. With Ramp, you can do more with more. Ramp is the corporate card and expense management software that saves businesses like yours an average of 5%. That's more for you to invest back into your operations, your staff, your bottom line, you name it. And that means less time spent on manual tasks, less time spent closing your books, and less time spent worrying about where your money went. All with Ramp.
I grew my hospitality company fast. So fast that we actually felt serious growing pains. Ramp helped us automate our manual expense tracking, saving the team valuable time. Now we have more time to spend on what really matters, our guests and their experience.
Ramp gives you more time, more visibility, and more control over your business. Don't settle for anything less. Start using Ramp for free today at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's RAMP.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Getting ready for a huge game on Sunday. Seahawks and Cardinals. And yeah, I would totally agree that the effect of winning this game should be enormous for deciding what this division looks like and would really give the Seahawks pretty close to a stranglehold on it by beating the team just below them in the standings 2 times over the course of the season. So, huge game. Mike McDonald ready to focus, I think, after the birth of his son, David McDonald, 2 days ago. He was back in the building yesterday, meeting with the media. Huge congratulations, as everybody seems to be happy and healthy in the McDonald family. He's got big decisions to make. Let's start with who's going to return kicks and punts.
I'd say like both returner spots in the punt and the kickoff return game we're working through still, so we don't have an answer quite yet. We have some people that we're going to be working at those spots, D included. So I just don't have an answer for you exactly what we're going to do right now.
All right. Well, there was some video yesterday of both Kenny McIntosh and Zach Charbonnet returning kicks and punts. And I am intrigued by Charbonnet as a kick returner specifically just because of the size and speed combination. I think with the way they're doing kickoffs now, you kind of get away with that a little bit more. Speaking of size and needing to move people off the line of scrimmage, that was the one thing that Laumea did pretty well at right guard, and I guess he's going to get another shot at it this week.
That's the plan right now. There's a couple mentals to start out the game. But, talking about rookie playing his first meaningful NFL action, we felt him out there. I thought he did a great job getting used to the game, so excited about him. But that's the plan right now, is to stick with Tawa.
Well, I think if they do, and if he does continue to build on that, yes, he moves people, and that should help the running game. As for the defense, just keep on doing what you've been doing. Daniel Jeremiah joining us yesterday. We asked him, is this defense elite?
They're really good. I think what we've seen, if we see what we saw last week, continually, and what we've seen over the last little bit, yeah, they're trending in that direction for sure. And to me, you've got to be able to dominate up front, be an elite defense. And they've got several guys that are playing at a high level, none higher than Leonard Williams right now. But they've got a bunch of guys who are playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage, run and pass. And so that to me is every dominant defense starts right there. And I think their level of play up front, I was excited about some of the young guys early in the year. But, man, the dominant, I would say, has definitely been more the case over the last few weeks.
Well, that's certainly a good sign, and they may get a little extra help this week as Chenna Nwosu practiced fully yesterday, and there's a possibility he could see the field. By the way, congrats to him as he is named the Seahawks nominee for the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. Big game tonight. Lions, Packers, big-time battle in the NFC North.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
It's been fun getting ready for the winter meetings next week and talking through rumors and possibilities and ideas and thoughts for the Mariners and what they could do. Yeah, Lyle, I really do like your suggestion and the creativity around it. I don't know whether that guy, Austin Riley, is available. In all honesty, he's probably not. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't call and say, hey, you want to get creative on a deal and see if there's a way for us to get together. You need pitching, we need hitting. And that way you're not just going after someone like Alec Bohm. Now, what's the market? Apparently, the Phillies, when called about Bohm, said, "Sure. How about Logan Gilbert or George Kirby?" So who knows what teams are going to respond when you make them an offer.
I was going to say, if the Phillies can call and say we want Logan or Kirby for Alec Bohm, the Mariners can call Atlanta and say we'd like to package that deal with Luis and the prospects for Austin Riley.
Really, really good point, and certainly nobody would laugh. Adam Jude had the team making calls on Cubs second baseman Nico Horner as well. I am a little bit more intrigued there just because he seems to fit what they're trying to do with speed and defense and running and everything else that he does. Seems like a pretty decent fit. John Morosi mentioned that he and Isaac Paredes are both possibilities.
You know, one name that I'd mention as well, we talked about Nico Horner with the Cubs, is Isaac Paredes, who is their short. He plays third base. He can play some second as well. He can play some first. But because they have a young prospect named Matt Shaw coming up, I think that Paredes would be available in the right deal. And so I think he's a guy to watch there as a possibility. Again, Horner is a dynamic, just wizard with the glove at second base, one of the best in the world. I think Paredes is maybe not the class of defender that Horner is, but he's a good offensive player who I think would really help the Mariners too. And he's pretty good at avoiding strikeouts and putting the ball in play by the modern definition of that, which I think we know the Mariners really have to address that this offseason.
A couple other rumors. Mark Feinsand had the Mariners chatting with Hae-Sung Kim as a potential landing spot after he's been posted coming out of the Korean Baseball Organization. John Heyman mentioned them as a potential landing spot for Nolan Arenado.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
And then sort of a crazy story coming out of the Seattle Storm franchise. I missed the beginning of this a couple weeks ago, but Jewel Lloyd has now requested a trade out of Seattle after the conclusion of what was an external investigation revealed no wrongdoing by the team. They had been looking at whether the coaching staff last year was bullying and harassing players in order to get more effort out of them. So apparently they hired an outside law firm, investigated, and yesterday they announced the findings, and then Lloyd said, yeah, I'm out of here. I'd like a trade. She reportedly requested to be dealt somewhere else. So again, I don't have a lot more information or even really too much opinion on this yet. I'm kind of waiting for a little bit more information to come out. But man, I am kind of blown away by that story. The idea of accusing a coach of bullying and harassment is a pretty big step. So interesting that it ended up.
Especially, like you said, because she's been here for so long. So it's not like something she's had a past of complaining about or something. Obviously, there was a dynamic that changed.
Well, and then you got to wonder, right, who hired the law firm? You know, it was hired by the team, not by the player. Does that influence what the eventual result is? So, crazy story. Kraken, we'll get back to it tonight as they will take on the Islanders in Long Island, actually a 4 o'clock start. That is everything you need to know. Quarter past every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. Yes, Brock had to take off a little early. He is meeting with Austin Genty, right? So,
Ashton Genty.
Whatever, dude. Don't worry about it. He plays college football. He doesn't matter for
Well,
another
he
year.
might only win the Heisman and go in the top 15, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah, next year I'll know his
Salk's
name.
going to watch him play one game this year, make a definitive statement about how
I'll
he's going
get to know his name
NFL.
next year when he matters, when he's playing actual sports, not college football. So Brock's meeting with Genty, and so he's gone for the rest of the day. But that's cool. We've got Morris Fantasy Forecast coming up. It's Ashton? That's his first name?
Ashton Genty.
I thought it was Austin. Are you sure? Are you pulling my leg?
As somebody who watches a lot of college football, yes.
I'm just kidding. I know you're right. How come nobody ever corrected the professor when he would get names like that wrong? They just let it go. Why you got to correct me?
People yell at me all the time. I did sometimes.
Why don't they yell at Lyle when he corrects me? Who cares what this guy's name is? I'm just kidding. All right, Maura needs fantasy forecast questions still. She got a bunch, but if you got more questions for her, text to 866.
Quarterback ones so far.
Quarterback? Nobody cares about quarterback. It's fantasy. What's going on? Come on, people. Ask more some good wide receiver questions. 866-979-3776. We'll get to those in 20 minutes after fun new guest, Evan Cohen of the ESPN Morning Show will join us. We'll talk some quarterback rules next on Brock and Salk.
Seattle Sports, your home for Bump and Stacy.
Congratulations to Leonard Williams. He was named NFC
Defensive Player of the Week. But it really does speak to the success John Schneider and the Seahawks front office have had with in-season trade acquisitions. 2010, Marshawn Lynch. 2017, Dwayne Brown. 2019, Quandre Diggs. 2024, Ernest Jones, obviously making a massive difference. I mean, this is like batting 1,000.
This is what they do. They are good at mid-round adjustments.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
What would motivate you to encourage your kid to work with me at Lee Johnson?
I still revert back to, if I work at a location and I'm willing to have my son work at this location, that should tell you a great deal. I didn't steer my son away, I steered my son to it. Because of the opportunities that are in front, and when you see it across multiple rooftops in multiple locations, it says a lot that you're willing to entrust your family member, your blood, sweat, and tears. You're willing to say, hey, this is a great place for them to be and work. If you take care of people, they take care of customers.
Sharing a good thing with family and friends comes easy at the Lee Johnson Auto family. The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Hey Seattle, Jaden Schwartz. Still having roofing problems? Don't skate through the winter. Call Techline today. Techline has the strongest warranty in the business. Take advantage of our easy financing and seasonal specials. Happy holidays from our team at Techline Roofing.
I don't want to dig up my yard if I don't have to. That's why I hired O'Neill Plumbing. They're Seattle's trenchless plumbing pros. All rooter, all trenchless, always professional. O'Neill Plumbing. Since 1917.
Have you tried the dining district at the Bellevue Collection? Grab lunch with friends, meet up for happy hour, and stay for dinner and beyond. You can sample international flavors and local favorites from talented chefs. Try a new cocktail on a rooftop bar or watch the game with friends and explore the lively nightlife scene. The dining district at the Bellevue Collection, where your taste adventure begins. Learn more at BellevueCollection.com/dining district.
If you worked in aircraft manufacturing or aircraft painting at Boeing, semiconductor or printed circuit board manufacturing, or other industries where hazardous chemicals or solvents were used, your children may be entitled to legal damages. Birth defects have been linked to toxic chemicals and solvents used in these industries. If your child was born with brain or spinal cord damage, organ or limb deformities, blindness, cerebral palsy, genetic damage, or other issues, and you're a past or present aircraft manufacturing or painting, semiconductor or circuit board worker, contact Weinstein Cajano now, toll free at 1-866-99-TOXIC. Your children may be entitled to legal damages. If you are a past or present worker in aircraft manufacturing or aircraft painting at Boeing, semiconductor or printed circuit board manufacturing, or other industry worker, and your child has a birth defect, call toll free 1-866-99-TOXIC. Your call is confidential. 1-866-998-6942. That's 1-866-99-TOXIC. Message authorized by Weinstein Cajano, 600 University Street, Suite 1620, Seattle, Washington.
Join Seattle Sports and Treehouse for the 36th year of Holiday Magic.
Helping provide holiday gifts and year-long support for the more than 6,000 youth and young adults in foster care statewide.
When a child receives a holiday gift or a winter coat, they create memories that last long after the chill of winter passes.
Over the 36 years of Holiday Magic, we've delivered 182,000 gifts across our state.
Join Seattle Sports and Treehouse and share the joy of the holiday season.
Text MAGIC to 888-973-5476 to learn more.
Seahawks Player Spotlight.
Man, it felt good to go out there and be able to contribute.
Exclusive interviews with your favorite Seahawks.
We got a genius as the head coach.
Every day with Wyman and Bob.
Your business needs a network it can count on.
Power's out.
Comcast Business has you covered with Wi-Fi backup to help keep your business up and running, even when your power goes out.
Everybody in the warehouse good? Lights are out, but Wi-Fi's up. Let's power on.
It's from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Break room, you good?
Can't microwave my burrito, but Wi-Fi's fine. Let's power on.
Power on with the leader in connectivity, Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ask about Wi-Fi backup for your business or get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year contract, plus for a limited time. Ask about an $800 holiday bonus prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call or go online to ComcastBusiness.com today. Ins 12/15/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet and security edge. EcoBill and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
Lovebirds, you're in for a treat. With your holiday proposal just around the corner, Shane Company is here to help you create your dream engagement ring. This is your moment. Let's make it magical. Through 4 generations as a family business, we've helped tons of couples find a beautiful engagement ring for a price that works with their budget. We've always sourced diamonds directly, cut out the middleman, and passed the savings on to you. At Shane Company, we have the widest selection of ring settings and center stones, in stock and ready to compare side by side. It's so easy. Choose a look that brings your vision to life. From classic styles to modern designs, we have them all. Then pick out a natural or lab-grown diamond, a sapphire in your favorite color, or a vibrant gemstone like ruby or amethyst. With our everyday competitive prices and free lifetime warranty, your forever after is safe with us. Visit shaneco.com and come see us in store. We've got your dream ring and fine jewelry gifts for everyone on your list. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
This hour is brought to you by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, a few more minutes here. The Brock and Salk Show, Seattle Sports on 710. Moore's got the fantasy forecast coming up in 15 minutes. Excited to talk here to Evan Cohen, who hosts on Sportsmanlike on ESPN Radio that precedes our show, the morning radio show on ESPN Radio. It's Evan along with Chris Canty and Michelle Smallman. The show has been excellent, and I don't think that's a surprise. It's amazing what happens when you hire radio people to do a radio show, and that's exactly what Evan has been for a long time. And I'm glad to have him on the show. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Salk, how are you? Great talking as always.
Dude, it's been forever. So I used to talk to Evan all the time when I would fill in for Doug Gottlieb on the network, and he was in Miami doing Heat stuff at the time. He was like the guy to call to talk LeBron and Wade and all that when they were in Miami.
Is that how long ago? Geez, that's when we first started talking. Wow. Yeah, that. You know what's funny? I was watching the Heat-Lakers game last night, and one of the things they were saying was it's been 12 years since LeBron James was on the Miami Heat.
That's crazy.
And I'm like, wow, that is like I feel really old at that point because that means that was the last time you and I were doing regular radio.
I know. Just amazing. Well, and now you're killing it. I love the show. It's fun. It's a great radio show. Candy's great. Michelle has always been one of my favorites. So kudos to all you guys. And I did specifically want to talk to you about something you brought up the other day, which were your quarterback rules. And Brock I will admit, Brock took some shots. He said you're not exactly Bill Parcells with his quarterback rules. But then I read him the rules. And he was like, oh, hold on a minute. Those are actually really smart. So take me through your 3, maybe 4 quarterback rules, because it's going to lead us, I think, into an interesting Geno Smith conversation.
Yeah. So I'm not Bill Parcells. Breaking news, Brock is dead on that one. So well done by him to realize I am not Bill Parcells. But basically, my quarterback rules are as follows. Find a QB who can outperform his contract. That's the obvious one. That's what everyone in any walk of life is doing. But I say that simply because of I'm going to do this all as it relates back to Geno Smith for the sake of the argument, and as it relates back to Russell Wilson, who's maybe the perfect argument initially. The Seahawks going to 2 Super Bowls with Russ, winning the Super Bowl, obviously, with Russ is a QB who can outperform his contract. The value of having a mid-round quarterback is insanely high. The value of having a quarterback like Geno, who's on, a 3-year, $75 million deal, performing the way that he's performing, is much easier for him to outperform his contract. You mentioned my time in South Florida, than the Dolphins paying Tua $53 million a year, right? So can a team find a quarterback to provide more value than his peers at that position? Okay, obviously we've seen Seattle do that massively over the course of time. Draft a quarterback when you want one, not when you need one. Let's talk about that for a second, okay? Carolina Panthers, just for argument's sake, where former Seattle assistant Dave Canales is, drafted a quarterback in Bryce Young when they needed one, not when they wanted one, right? Salk, do you have any disagreement on that one so far?
Nope, totally true.
Okay, right. And so let's just, again, use Seattle, right? In essence, when you drafted Russell Wilson, you thought you wanted one and didn't need one because you signed Matt Flynn, right? And I look at Geno as the perfect example currently of probably when you should draft a quarterback because you don't need one you want one. That's number 2.
Okay.
Number 3 on the QB rules. Pay what quarterbacks to make wide receivers great. Don't pay wide receivers to make QBs great, right? So if you're looking, let's just use Cincinnati for argument's sake. There's an argument that after this season, as great as Jamar Chase is, you should not be paying him a ton of money because you paid Joe Burrow to take a B-level receiver and make him an A-level receiver. Or if you're a team like, I don't know, New Orleans, just for argument's sake, you don't have a quarterback. What you should not then do is trade for the aforementioned Jamar Chase because it's never going to work that way where you make the wide receiver make the quarterback great. It's always the other way around. And the additional rule that I have recently added is only draft a quarterback when you know your head coach will be there 3 years from the moment you draft the quarterback, which currently in Seattle, obviously, you have that opportunity to do that because Mike McDonald doesn't seem like he's going anywhere. So you are ripe to draft the quarterback this year.
All right, so awesome. I love them, and I think all those rules make sense in various ways. Let's bring him back to Geno, and I think the third one is going to relate to DK Metcalf here in a moment as well. But let's start with Geno. Yes, for the last few years, he has outperformed his contract. There's no doubt about it, and that's been part of the Seahawks' little secret here to right now leading the NFC West. If he now is up for a contract, he's got one more year left in his deal after this, but if you're going to sign him, this is kind of when you would do it, and I think there's going to be a push from Geno's side to get paid again this offseason. Brock even said yesterday on the show, if they make the playoffs and win the division, you should rip his deal up and give him something new. I'm not sure I agree, but that's what Brock said. Would you still would he be able to you would not?
Well, no, rip his deal up and give him something new is different, Mike, than, okay, so he's 3 for 75. I'm fine making it 4 for 100 if you like. Like, I'm fine adding a year, right? Because then the way I look at it is, it's amazing. Seattle is so, not just because we're talking, right? You are so ripe for everything that I am saying. You extend Geno. You win. Let's play it out. You win the division this year. You go to the playoffs. You're going to have to extend Geno, right? But you don't have to rip up whatever the cap hit is next year unless you're telling me it's astronomical, which I don't know.
It's not.
Head.
No.
But, okay. So then you would just give him an extra year at the same price tag, right? And if he wants a different price tag and he wants it to be big, and then you may have to reconsider. But let's say they somehow compromise, even if you want to take it to, we're going to rework next year and we're going to give you 2 years, $60 million, 60, all in. We're even fully guarantee the whole thing. Who cares, right? All right, $60 million. Now, he may not go for that, but that's what I would consider. So now I'm giving him a raise in an extra year. I'm, at that point, drafting a quarterback in the first round if there's one I like, because now I'm getting this guy for 5 years. And also, I am guaranteed, because now I'm drafting QB when I want one, not when I need one, and I'm guaranteed to have this guy on the bench for 2 years, which I am a big believer. Do not play rookie quarterbacks right away if you don't have to. So theoretically, again, making this up, let's say somehow, some way you have the opportunity to draft Cam Ward from Miami, just for argument's sake. And you could put him on the bench for 2 years behind Geno, and his first year starting is his third year in the NFL, which is Mike McDonald's third year over, or fourth or fifth year at that point. Like, you are a perfectly built franchise. I believe the Seattle Seahawks are the most underrated, stable franchise in the league. We talk about Green Bay and Pittsburgh. I think Seattle is underrated in their level of stability. This is how you keep stability going.
Talking to Evan Cohen, host of Unsportsmanlike on ESPN radio show that precedes us here on the station. Okay, so then the other guy who is 1 year away from this conversation, and it means it's really going to start here in the offseason, is DK Metcalf. Do you put him in that same category as Jamar Chase? Are you trading DK this offseason? Or do you think that you want to pay DK Metcalf a huge amount of money?
Why do I need to pay him?
Well, he's going to want to get paid, right? I mean, that's what wide receivers do the year before.
Oh, yeah, but why do I have to if I'm them? if I'm John Schneider, why do I have to? Now, if you want to tell me he's been a great teammate, a great player, a great face in the community, funny guy, gives us all the great things that you could say about DK Metcalf, absolutely. Okay, I get it. Take the personal stuff out of it. Jackson Smith and Jigba is in what year?
2.
Which means after next year, he's going to be looking for a contract also, right?
After next year, yes.
Okay.
First round pick though, so you've got the extra, you've got the fifth round option on him.
You can probably get. So let's say you have 2 more years of him. So my first round this year is a quarterback. My second round is a big-time wide receiver. If we have one in the second round that you could draft, I'm going to trade DK Metcalf. I'm going to focus on the guy that I've been focusing on, Jackson Smith and Jigba. I'm going to have his replacement ready to go, and I'm going to be able to continue this cycle. I'm only saying this because I'm talking about an organization that is insanely competent and can do all of this stuff. You can't, like the conversation, Mike, we're having, if we were to have it about the Jets, they would have made 1,000 mistakes up until this point. I look at the Seattle Seahawks as an unbelievably stable franchise. And in order to be stable, you have to know when to say goodbye as much as when to say hello. I mean, you tell me anything that we've said so far. Do you disagree? Draft a quarterback this year and trade DK in the offseason.
No, you're speaking my language, but you're going to be very unpopular just like I am, because I've been saying to trade DK for a little while now, not because I don't like him or because I don't think he's a great player. It's because I don't think you should re-sign a wide receiver for huge money, and I'd rather get back more picks in order to continue to rebuild the line and the defense, which both could continue to need help.
Okay, so I'm so glad you said that. So I want to talk to all of Seattle right now, okay? What Mike Salk is doing is complimenting DK Metcalf, so everybody understands that. What Mike is saying, not that I need to translate for you, is Mike believes DK Metcalf is so good that he deserves the money, but in order to keep the stability and the growth of the organization, you can't be the one that pays him that money because your general manager, John Schneider, is so good that he already is drafted as replacement. You can't pay two wide receivers.
All right, we're going to have to start doing a regular hit with you now. I mean, if you're just going to come on and finally tell people what I've been trying to say and agree with me, this is fun. We never have guests who come on and agree with me, Evan. This is very rare.
There's a reason. So I don't think you have fully put into perspective what I have just realized as to why we think this way. Okay? There's a revelation I'm about to have. Okay. I don't know if you know this about me. You may. I love Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, and the New England Patriots. Okay? And you spent time in Boston when the Patriots were at their greatest.
True.
What are we saying? We're literally just suggesting to be like Belichick and the Patriots.
Yeah, it's trade Richard Seymour. It's trade Ty Law. It's trade Asante Samuel. It's all the things that Belichick did in order to keep his dynasty going as long as he did. And frankly, it's some of the things they didn't do here, right? I mean, they signed Richard Sherman. They signed Earl Thomas. They signed, they kind of went all in on all of the LOB guys, and eventually a bunch of them got hurt.
But they were able to do all of that because they had a quarterback on a rookie scale deal who could outperform his contract.
100%. Well, I love it. I appreciate it.
Any of that,
Evan.
Seriously.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, well, the texters are saying that I got to send you a gift card now for agreeing with me on the air. It just happens so rarely, and we only have a couple of minutes left, so I just wanted to go away from the quarterback and the DK thing here for 1 minute and just focus on your show. How long have you guys been doing it now?
September 5th of 23, so we're a little over a year and a few months now. That we've been on ESPN Radio and ESPN TV, or ESPN2.
So do you feel like usually about a year is when you start to really feel like you're hitting your stride? Is that how the show is starting to feel for you guys?
Yeah, I think that we started to hit our stride probably a little bit before a year. I would say that we are now really understanding and knowing each other. And we were not three people that knew each other prior. I knew Michelle a little bit, and obviously I knew of Chris. I mean, he's a phenomenal football player and phenomenal broadcaster. I think what you said early on is really important, is that we are three people that are radio people. Like, we are no different than Mike Salk in that Mike, how long? 20-plus years in radio, right? Working your way up to the top, then, having this unbelievable opportunity in one of the best markets of the country in Seattle and really establishing yourself as a dominant force there is the same thing that we are doing in that, we are just three radio people. I know Chris played in the NFL, but he's really a radio guy that spent our entire lives in radio, and we just love this medium. Cool. We truly believe that radio, and everybody listening to right now loves radio. It's just better than every other medium. Yes, YouTube's great, Twitter's great, Instagram, television, we get it, all of it. But there's something you can do in radio that is personal that you can't do in other mediums, and what we have done is allow our personalities, I think, to come out, for better or worse in some cases.
I love it.
Probably with me, but to come out in a way that people can relate to us.
All right, last question then about them, and then we got to run. Give me one thing you've learned from each of them, from Michelle and from Chris in the first year plus of working with them.
Good question. Okay, here we go. I have it right away. I love when Cece says sports character or sports mindset. And what I mean by that, or what he means by that, I think too often we get confused between how someone performs and acts at their job and who they are in real life. Where I would say, oh, this guy is such an ass. No, he's acting like his sports character is acting out. That doesn't mean when he's home with his family he's a bad guy, right? And with Michelle, it's okay to be glass half full. Because I'm from New York originally. I spent time in South Florida. You know, like I just am naturally negative at times. She's so glass half full and taking a positive approach, and that she, almost in a Pete Carroll, Steve Kerr working with joy sort of way, she has that, and I've definitely learned that from her.
I love it. Show's been great. I love listening to it on the way in, and often use stuff that you guys are talking about on our show as well. So thanks. I appreciate it. It's great being able to listen, and anyone who agrees with me gets to come on again. So I really appreciate this. We'll have to do it again.
I look forward to it. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it.
Good to talk to you. There's Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio. It's him, Chris Canty, and Michelle Smallman. We should have Michelle on at some point also. She's really good. She's from St. Louis, really smart baseball person. I mean, she knows a little bit of everything, but she's a really good baseball person. So there you go. I didn't even know he was going to agree with me. That was great. Lyle's laughing at me. I can see you back there chuckling at me.
Oh, sorry. I'm not laughing at you.
Oh, what are you laughing at?
Passon just tweeted out a signing that just happened.
Jeez. You're so focused in there. What was the signing?
Well, here's why I'm laughing. It was Luis Severino. He just signed a 3-year, $67 million deal with the Oakland A's.
What?
That's what I said.
That is surprising.
They don't pay people. They don't pay money ever.
But they're going to pay Luis Severino?
I'm sitting here. That's why I'm laughing. That's why I'm flabbergasted. I get that update. I don't know what to do.
They're getting that Sacramento money, Evan.
Yeah.
Or Lyle. Sorry, I was still thinking about Evan, who was just on the show. Yeah, they get that Sacramento money, man. You got to go spend it somewhere. All right. Thank you to Evan Cohen. You guys should listen to their show. It precedes ours here on the station, and it's time for Maura's Fantasy Forecast.
Fantasy Football Forecast with Maura Dooley.
That open gets better every week. There are just certain things that'll make you laugh every time, no matter what.
Yeah.
That is one of them.
That was Brent, so I think that's the same person that goes bowling with Lyle. Yeah.
Like every time I throw something for Gertie and she goes, my French bulldog, every time I throw her like a toy and she goes and chases it and brings it back, she barks right before she picks it up. And it makes me laugh literally every time. She's like, run, arf! And then she grabs it and I laugh every time. Doesn't matter.
All right, we will. I love Gertie. We'll get into fantasy football here. I have one recommendation. I usually like to start out with someone if you are kind of desperate for a pickup. Titans wide receiver Nick Westbrook-Akine is, I think he's only rostered in about 30-40% of leagues right now. He could be a little risky because he's had 3 or fewer catches in his last 4 games, but he's made the most of them, finding his way into the end zone in 8 of their last 9 games. So there's some evidence there that he's going to score for you. This week he faces a Jaguars team that's giving up the 3rd most fantasy points to wide receivers. So Titans wide receiver Nick Westbrook-Akine, I like him for a pickup this week if you need a wide receiver.
Appreciate it.
Then, like I said, we had a lot of quarterback questions. The 815 says Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, or Baker Mayfield. I'm actually going to go with Baker on this one. The Raiders allowed the last 5 quarterbacks they've faced to throw for at least 250 yards, and they've given up 13 passing touchdowns in those games. Mahomes is great, but he's, especially with the Chiefs being a little down from what they have been this year, he's not the best fantasy quarterback, and he only scored 12 points the last time he faced the Chargers. That defense is looking pretty good. They had 4 picks last week.
I mean, yeah, it's a Jim Harbaugh team. Of course the defense
I know
is
you
looking
love
pretty
it.
good. I mean,
and then Russ has been, even though he's been playing well, he's been putting up modesty fantasy numbers outside of that 400-yard game last week in the snow.
Feels like an outlier.
Yeah, I'm not going to start him until I see that that's going to keep happening. I don't think that's their game plan with him.
Do you have like a general, not to go beyond this question, but do you have a general philosophy on quarterbacks in fantasy?
I mean,
of like what you're looking for?
if you can get one that runs
That's
more
number one.
valuable than, yeah. I mean, they have to throw a little bit too, obviously, but if you can get one that does both, that's pretty valuable. Like, Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels, Josh Allen even does enough running. Like, that's definitely going to be good for you. Otherwise, I just try to find someone that either throws for a lot of touchdowns or Jalen Hurts runs a lot of touchdowns in. They get all the way down to the goal line and then he poaches them from. So yeah, you try to just go for guys like that. There's some, like I said, that even though they're having good seasons, they're not great fantasy quarterbacks. So, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Baker out of that group this week. And then I had someone else ask Mahomes or Goff. This is a win and in scenario for the 509. So I'm a little nervous to give advice on that one. But as I just said, I think that the Chargers defense is playing pretty well. It's a weird division game that Mahomes didn't play that well in last time. So I guess the Packers one is a division game for Goff too, but I'm going with him.
Okay.
Luck too. 801, see, all quarterback questions. Brock Purdy or Jaden Daniels? I'm steering clear of Brock Purdy. I think the Niners are going downhill fast. With Jordan Mason and Christian McCaffrey out, things are not looking great for them. And I think Jaden Daniels and the Commanders are getting back together after they had a
bunch of wide
patch
receiver
there.
questions here that just came in. You want a few of them? Can you do them off the cuff or?
It depends on who they are.
Well,
I mean,
I'll throw them at you. You can
I've got
pass.
some other ones on here too.
Okay, I got Adam Thielen or J-Mo Williams.
Jameson Williams is like so boomer bust.
You got to figure that out now,
Adam,
right? Because he's tonight against Green Bay.
And Adam Thielen's actually a good pickup this week. A lot of people haven't noticed yet because he just came back from injury. He had a big week last week, and they've been trying to fill that Deontay Johnson hole since they traded him. Jameson Williams could go off, but it's just it's hit or miss with him. I'd probably go with Thielen.
Okay.
Let's see. I've got one here. Evan Ingram or Sam Laporta, the tight ends. Ingram's for Jacksonville and Sam Laporta for the Detroit game tonight. Ingram's been more consistent, but Sam Laporta has more upside for a big game, and he has the better matchup. The Packers defense, even though they've been pretty good, hasn't been that great against tight ends, and the Titans defense has been top 7. They've only been giving up like an average of 10 fantasy points a game to tight ends. So I'd go Laporta there. And then I had another question in a half PPR, Nick Chubb, Sam Laporta, or Jalen Warren. I do like Sam Laporta at tight end, but out of these options for a flex, I'm going with Nick Chubb, the Browns running back. He's getting the most consistent touches, and he had two rushing touchdowns against the Steelers just a couple of weeks ago. So you already have some proof there.
I got one here. This seems like a hard one. Pick 2 receivers out of these 4, Maura.
Oh boy.
Keenan Allen, Jaden Reed, A.J. Brown, and George Pickens.
Off the top of my head, I'm going Jaden Reed and A.J. Brown.
Okay. Who's Jaden Reed again?
He plays for the Packers. He's a pretty good deep threat for...
You know how many Packers games I've watched this year? 0. I have not watched 1 second of the... I don't know. I just haven't seen them. It's just like the way... I haven't been trying to avoid them or anything. I literally have not watched them play for 1 minute this year.
Yeah, Jaden Reed has... he scored double-digit fantasy points in 3 of their last 4 games. He had a 100-yard game, and then he had a game with 2 touchdowns and a game with 1 touchdown. So, yeah.
All right.
He doesn't usually get a ton of catches, but he's pretty electric.
People love your advice. I got a lot of people here texting in. They love the advice. Thank you, Maura. A great fantasy forecast as coming down the final stretch, right? Aren't we getting close to playoff season? Yeah. All right.
It ends the week before the actual season ends, because you can't. That last week, or at least most leagues do. That last week, a lot of teams bench players if they've already locked up a spot.
You just turn into a different person when you start doing that. There's a level of command and confidence and nerddom all thrown in together that is impressive, I got to tell you. All right, that's a fantasy forecast. We're pretty much done for the day. Stick around for the huddle, which, of course, is coming up next. Bump and Stacy. They're going to have Tyrese Knight and Abe Lucas on the show today, so that should be pretty fun. You've got Hawks Live tonight with Bump and Moyer. That'll be fun. And then we'll be in tomorrow. Brady Henderson will be in with me. G's going to come by. G has a lot to say. We got to talk about G's kid.
He wants to discuss your outfit for coaching.
Please. Ridiculous.
Yeah, he's got a lot to say about
everything.
Paternity leave
My
over on
God.
his station today.
He won't shut up the last couple of days.
I think he's gotten himself in some trouble.
Maybe he'll bring some of his wife's banana bread, though. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, we will see you guys tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Until then, the hay is in the barn. See you, everybody.
Get to the chopper! Seattle Sports, your home for Bump and Stacy.
Juan Soto's nearing the final stages of his free agency. God, can you imagine if it was the Mariners?
You know, it would be nice to be in the conversation for them to say,
Yeah.
hey, we shot our shot. She just wasn't messing with us.
I kind of want that
shoot
to happen.
Shoot. You have to shoot.
Exactly. I kind of want the Mariners
What did Wayne Gretzky
to be
say?
walking up to the big kids table and people to be like, you have no business. What are you doing here? And for them to be like, ooh, we're competing.
Gretzky and Michael Scott. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Thank you.
Come on.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now, during our Cyber Week sale, save 20% on most Sleep Number smart beds, plus free home delivery with any base. Limited time. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, you know to check you have a full tank of gas first before road tripping through the desert.
Empty? Seriously? Maybe I can walk.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Maybe I can't.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hey everyone, Rick Witters, owner of Cressy Door. Our family-owned business has been taking care of our neighbors every winter since 1952. On behalf of Cressy Door and all our wonderful families, we would like to